Stadium at Maple Grove. It doesn't get much better than this for a season opener of high school football. Defending state class 6A champion Osseo against a state semifinalist from a year ago, the Maple Grove Crimson. Hi, I'm Jay Wilcox along with Bill Hunstock. And Bill, one of the more anticipated season openers that we've had in a long time. Obviously a lot of new faces for both teams, but definitely a rivalry game among two premier programs.
Absolutely, two of the top-rated teams in the area, let alone the state. Defending state champion against a team that's always been one of the top teams around. Number 6 rated team against a team that's coming back from last year as a state champion. It doesn't get any better than that.
New head coach for Osseo this year as Ryan Stockhouse takes over, and obviously a little bit more of a difficult situation for them trying to get ready for a game one, maybe with a new staff than for Maple Grove, but we'll see how that shakes out here tonight.
Right, there's a double side to that. The hardest part with a new staff coming in is getting to know the kids and getting to put the things you want to put in that aren't too much different from last year. Talking to a couple of the coaches, they're not really changing a ton of stuff, at least offensively. So that helps them out a little bit to sync up with the coaching staff and their strengths and what they feel the players' strengths are going to be. But I think that's the biggest hurdle for Osseo to overcome.
Let's talk about key players to look at in tonight's game. Starting with Osseo, and really their biggest returning group would be the O-line.
Absolutely.
Nash Jensen, who we saw as an oversized tight end for part of last year, moving back into the interior line. He should be one of the better ones in the metro area.
Well, yes, he's rated as one of the top players, one of the top offensive linemen in the metro. He comes off of a couple of pretty good seasons. He's big as a darn barn, so it doesn't matter. But I think that with the offensive line, it's absolutely critical to have as much sync as you can have with those 5 guys. If those 5 guys are doing the job, it doesn't really make a lot of difference what you have behind them. And with a group of 4 or 5 guys coming back, and with a guy like Jensen being the kingpin, and he's obviously an emotional leader as well, so that makes a big difference in the preparation for an opening game.
For Maple Grove, they don't return a whole lot of defensive players, but one guy who does come back off a good season as a junior is Zion Allen, a linebacker.
Yeah, they're undersized, and Coach Lombardi, we're talking to him, and we've known that Matt for years likes to have a smaller, quicker group on defense and really try to confuse the offense. It's a real challenge to play offense against Maple Grove defense. Zion Allen brings back some real good experience from last year. He was a leading tackler, had something like 14 tackles for a loss, which is huge. And that kind of emotional leadership, particularly with a defensive group, is going to be a big thing to help solidify the entire game plan for Maple Grove.
Adding a little to the intrigue is Maple Grove, with as much success as they've had since Coach Lombardi has come over, he has not beat Osseo on the field at least. There was one game that was changed to a forfeit, so none of these Maple Grove players either have ever beat Osseo. They are looking to change that in a big way on their home field tonight.
Absolutely, and it's a funny thing because even in years when Osseo wasn't really great, they always seem to find a way to beat Maple Grove, and it's a thorn in the side. It's a challenge. Last year both teams ended up pretty good, but Osseo got the better of Maple Grove right out of the gate. Maple Grove, whether they say it or not, this is a focal point. Like you said, you've got seniors that have never beaten Osseo, and since these guys have grown up together, they're in the same school district. A lot of them have known each other since they were in elementary school. The winner of this game gets to brag for the entire season, so it's a big, important game, whether anybody wants to admit it or not.
Perfect night for football as well. We'll get set for the kickoff of tonight's contest. The Orioles and the Crimson coming your way next here on 12 Sports. Welcome back to Maple Grove. Joining us from the sideline tonight will be Allie Arlt. Let's go down to Allie.
From the sidelines, and what a game to kick it off with. The defending state champs versus their crosstown rival, and all with a brand new coach. For the Orioles, Ryan Stockhouse tells me that he has already fallen in love with this team. saying that his team has done a tremendous job adjusting to this new coaching staff, the new changes to both the offensive and defensive sides of the ball. Now, coming into this game, you would think that this defending state championship team would have a lot of experience, but that's actually not true. Only 3 players that were on last year's team are coming back into this one, and it would be 4, but offensive lineman Ryan Williams tore his ACL in the offseason, so he won't be here for this one, but coach says that they're gonna still pull through. He said before the game that he physically had chills watching his team get ready for the game, saying that these guys have so much energy and bring so much excitement that he doesn't even have to give them a pep talk. Should be a good one, guys.
Osseo with the football first and returning it out just shy of the 20-yard line, Julian Cavan. So Osseo gets the first crack with the football. Their starter at quarterback is a junior, Eric Lundstrom. Marmar Hughes returning as a running back and receiver for this team, but as Allie said, not a ton of experience coming back for the Orioles. Hughes taking the direct snap here, and he will be out to the 25 or so here, so give him a gain of 5 on that first carry. So Hughes running the show here to get things started for the Orioles. Bunch formation in the backfield around him. Hughes, a little missed handoff there, busted play. Jake Hansen riding him down from behind after about a 2-yard pickup as we get a look at the lineup for Osseo. And already seeing Hughes really running things from the quarterback slot here, a little different than what we were told here, but a couple-yard pickup for him, and they have gone heavy to the ground game. And you like to get established behind that big offensive line here a little bit too, Bill.
Absolutely.
3rd down and 3. Hughes going to look to run it, and he is wrapped up and dropped. Great job by the Crimson defense, and Allen got there first and was able to drop him. As you get a look at the defensive starters from Maple Grove, they will force an early punt. Allen, we talked about him in the pregame, and he knifed in there to take Hughes down.
Yes, he did, and I'm kind of not surprised to see that type of an opening sequence from Osseo. Like you said, Jay, their strength is their offensive line, and we talked about it in the pregame, and we mentioned it more than once during the game tonight, I'm sure, is that Maple Grove's defense is going to be quick. They're going to come at you from a lot of different angles, and you're really never going to know which 5 guys are attacking the line of scrimmage. And to just kind of line up and snap the ball to your best running back and just run straight ahead isn't a bad idea.
Maple Grove will have Jack Dugan out there to punt. So look at Coach Stockhouse coming over to take things over, and obviously it's been a kind of a whirlwind summer, getting to know everybody and working with the players and everything. But as Allie said, he's pumped up to be here, a graduate of De La Salle, where he played his high school football. Maple Grove, unfortunately, in their scrimmage, lost a guy that was going to be a real key player for them, Joe Raymond. And Coach Lombardi talked about him, good defensive player, but even maybe better as a return man. So they are without his services for probably the year, or at least most of the year. Ball booted away by Joe Chia here, and it's going to skip out of bounds at about the 43-yard line of Maple Grove. So 32-yard punt, no return, but Brad Davison and the Crimson offense will get things started. We didn't really talk about Brad in the pregame because we know as a quarterback he's going to get mentioned an awful lot. 3rd-year starter, Division I basketball recruit. Would be a Division I football player if he wanted to go that route, but he let the coaches know that, no, I'm going to be playing basketball. He'll head over to Wisconsin, and they feel pretty comfortable, obviously, with a guy with that much experience back.
And they do have experience at several key spots. So
fakes the handoff, Davison running, and just tripped up there. Getting a piece of him was Adeyinka Omatoyunbo. as you get a look at the offense for Maple Grove, and a lot of new starters really on both sides of the ball for the Crimson, and not a terribly unusual thing in a big school and a big program like this. But they got some key players at key spots back. Ryan Hanscom, a pretty good year as a running back last year.
Absolutely.
And obviously Davison has about as much experience as you're going to see in a Class 6A team with a guy starting for the third year. He did get 5 on that carry, so 2nd and 5. Davison under center this time, handing it off. And a couple yards shy of a first down on that carry for Hanscom as you get a look at the defensive starters for Osseo. Looking at the 3-5 look, so there's definitely some different things. Got, it's a little bit of a mixture of new coaches to the staff along with holdovers from last year.
Exactly. And that 3-5 gives it's still an odd-looking front. What we mean by odd is it has a nose tackle, but it gives you an awful lot of flexibility on the perimeter and in the linebacking spots.
Ooh, a collision in the backfield. Davison scrambling around, and he is tripped up and cut down. Nice stop by Ace Novalengsi for Osseo. You see that one obviously didn't go off as planned in the backfield. I don't think you want your motion man colliding with your setback there. And after that point, it was time to scramble, and Davison will lose 4, and they'll have to boot it away.
Yeah, that was definitely a bad traffic jam there in the backfield to force Davison to have to pull the ball and run on his own. And
it's a high snap. A race for the football here. The Crimson are going to get it back, but it doesn't matter much as Osseo will have the football on Maple Grove's 10-yard line. Asked Coach Lombardi about special teams, and he was, kind of a little worried, and now we see it right there as they snapped it over Carter Kitterman's head. And Maple Grove, Curtis Haugen does get back on the ball, but Osseo will get it at the 10-yard line, first down and goal to go. So the first big mistake of the game committed by Maple Grove. We'll see if Osseo can capitalize.
Yeah, Coach Lombardi did say that they were concerned about snapping the ball, and sure enough, his worst nightmare happened on the first snap of the game.
So Osseo will try to punch it in. They went with all quarterback runs on that first possession, and here is Hughes taking it right up the middle, and he is stacked up. He's able to drive his way forward for maybe a yard or two. Wrapped up on the outside, Kitterman, I think, was the guy reaching for him and getting him around the waist early on there. He'll get about 2, and we'll bring second and goal here for Osseo.
Looked like they got a better push than that, but quite honestly, the Maple Grove guys, if they're given a seam, Coach Lombardi and his staff are going to find a way to get somebody in the seams, and that's very tough for an offensive line to deal with.
Hughes this time faking the handoff, rolls right, throws, nice one-handed catch on the touchdown. Osseo on the board. Alfonso Baya gets in for the score as they had gone straight up the middle 4 or 5 times in a row. This time a little play action, and Hughes hits Bala. They call him Fonzie, and he was able to sneak out and get into the end zone. So Osseo on the board first. Extra point try is up, and the kick is good as it's drilled through there by Dean Lum. And with 7:18 to go in the first, it's 7-0 Osseo.
Pretty well played by the offense, and just a nice catch and run. A couple of missed tackles, kind of uncharacteristic of Maple Grove, but really well done by Bala to get the ball in the end zone. And that's a nice, safe pass to run, a play-action pass. Easy drop-off from your kind of makeshift quarterback with Marmar Hughes tossing the ball to Bala and getting the touchdown right out of the gate there. That's a huge series for Osseo defensively, and then to convert the turnover instantaneously almost into points. Puts a lot of pressure on Maple Grove now.
There's the fans in orange across the way. That's the student section. Of course, school hasn't started yet, but I think maybe they knew about this one already, right,
I think they were informed.
And we talked about a little bit earlier, too, perfect weather. So many times that season opener is a scorcher, and you have to really worry about hydration and cramps and things like that, where you shouldn't, you can't say for sure there won't be any cramps, but in terms of overheating, we're not worried about that at all tonight here.
No.
Just about perfect. So Lum will kick it off here for Osseo. The visitors in white, Osseo. And by the way, new uniforms for all three of the District 279 teams this year. So we're seeing new look for both of these squads as that ball booted into the end zone. He had the wind at his back, and Lum able to get the touchback. And so Maple Grove's second possession will begin at their 20-yard line. So you get a look at Coach Matt Lombardi there. Took the team to the semifinals each of the last two seasons, which, by the way, was the first time ever that they had been to the semifinals.
Right.
So kind of making it an expectation. And he said that right when he came over from Wayzata. We don't want it to be a one-hit wonder. We don't want it to just be good one year. We expect this year in and year out. I mean, sure, it's not always going to happen, but that's the plan every year coming in.
Absolutely.
Davison dropping the throw. Swings it out into the flat, and the completion is good there. So he hits Carlson. We did have a flag, I believe.
Yeah, there was a flag. There was probably a motion infraction of some variety.
I saw the flag fly up, but I can't see where it landed. It must be players on the sideline blocking it. So illegal substitution, it looks like. No, illegal motion. They're against Maple Grove. So instead of that nice completion, it's going to be a 5-yard mark-off here against the Crimson.
And I did not see the motion violation. So it was the linesman that threw the flag. So that's a pretty good indication.
So wipe out that completion, and it'll be 1st and 15 now for Maple Grove. Is not what they had envisioned coming out trailing. They got good field position, but then were stopped, and a high punt snap gave Osseo the football at the Crimson 10. And looks like we got problems again here getting that snap off for Maple Grove.
Illegal procedure. A dead ball illegal procedure. One of the linemen must have moved.
Well, it is opening night here.
Rather inauspicious start.
Yeah, even though these teams do so much summer practice and everything, it's still, you got the jitters the first time in front of that big crowd. And all these guys have played a lot of football, but not all of them have played varsity football against their hugest rival like this, too.
Absolutely. And you get pretty geeked up for a game like this. There's no doubt about it.
Davison will roll to the left, throwing across the middle, and a hard hit delivered. But the catch is made by Carlson at about the 20-yard line. He got popped pretty good, but settled down into that seam, and they get about 10 back after the penalties. You see Carlson turning and getting rocked on a solid step up and tackle there for Osseo. As Kevin Yang, I believe, who lowered the boom on him a little bit there.
That was a nice 11-yard gain, though. It gives you something to work with for your next two downs at 2nd and 9.
Davison gets pretty good protection. Now he steps up past the rush and spun down and driven to the turf. Finished off by Adam Lanners there as they grabbed him around the ankle. So going to be a short loss on the play, it looks like, for Davison. You see Davison last year ran the ball quite a bit at playoff time, and I think we're going to see a fair amount of that this year. That time it didn't quite work out as he tucked it and tried to run, but loses a yard. So it'll be 3rd down and 10 as they're back to where they started this possession here after a couple of those motion penalties. Davison, this time under pressure, throws on the run, and is the catch made? Yes. Going to be just short of the first down. It was a heck of a grab over there on the sideline by Eric Christensen, but it looks like they're going to mark him just shy of the first down.
Well, that's an outstanding catch because Davison was throwing off of his back foot, and just not able to really push the ball downfield. He kind of floated it downfield. But you're 4th and 1, and you'd think you have to punt the ball away.
Although the last punt snap didn't go very well, so they may be either going to try to draw them off or maybe be confident in that line and go for it. And they're going to go for it, and Davison will sneak, and he will get the first down. This is shades of the old Osseo coach, Darren Lamker. He loves to do things like this.
Yes.
Coach Lombardi does it right there. And
I think
think
that's a gutsy call.
To me, that's equal parts being worried about the punt snap and equal parts confidence that you could get
I think you're right. I think when you've got, and I think you've got to show that, hey, things have happened, and we're going to show confidence both in our offense that we can get this, and if we don't get it, we got confidence in our defense that we can play.
I thought it was even money that they were going to just, hard count and try and draw them offside.
Right. Yeah,
instead they
no play type of a situation.
Get their first down. Handoff here on the sweep. Carlson, and the ball popped free, and it's picked up by Yang. One man to beat, and he's going to go in. A flag down, though. This one may be coming back. I think there was a block in the back on the return. So the touchdown is not going to stand, although the fumble recovery should.
Probably.
Hanscom looked like he was about to maybe tackle him, and then he was hit from behind. The Osseo guys came over and were either chewing out and or consoling the guy who may have been the guilty party there, as I think they saw it happen too. So it will be a turnover, and Osseo will have great field position. They will not have the touchdown, though, and that's exactly what we saw.
First down.
Here you see it. I'm sorry, on the carry was Dugan, and Dugan has the ball stripped out right there nicely for Osseo by Nick Norman, and then you see the Yang, and there's the block right there. That's in Hanscom scrambling. But may have caught him, may not have caught him, but that's one where you just have to pull back and see it right there.
Yeah.
Oh, boy, that's close, though.
That is close, but it was clearly behind, the center of mass of the defender. However, the running back shifted the ball from his outside arm to his inside arm just before the fumble. And usually you want your running back to carry the ball high and tight in your outside arm on a sweep.
Here is Hughes with the run. Boy, they're raking at that football, and he's stopped. The helmet goes rolling, but Hughes maintained possession of the ball. He will pick up a couple. Osseo, you want to be greedy here, really. I mean, you'd like to score another touchdown after you get that turnover, and they converted on the first one. We'll see if they can do it again. They're not quite as close to the end zone, of course, as they were the first time.
I'm almost surprised that they didn't throw the football on that first down.
4 receivers set. Royce Winford, now the offensive coordinator for Osseo, and talked about that they'll see some more formations from them, and they go sweep, and Maple Grove is very much ready for that. Engelken was there and had plenty of help coming from the inside, too. I think it was Evan Jones, and they make the stop there for no gain, it looks like. So 3rd and long here, 3rd down and 9 coming for the Orioles. Get a good look there at Engelken, a 6-foot, 170-pounder. Little eye set this time for Osseo, see if they'll go to the air. That's how they got their first touchdown, but it was their only throw so far. Hughes rolling to his left, being chased. Hughes on the run, and he's not going to get the first down, but he does get some, so you're certainly in a better position to go for it. They're looking at that as let's get half here and half next play.
Yep, you're committed to a 4-down situation there. And they're going to end up with 4th and 4. That's reasonable. I was watching the kicker, Dean Lum, and he kicked three field goals in warm-up from over 40 yards. So he's definitely got the leg to get the ball up and through. But Osseo definitely wants to make a statement here.
4th and 4 for the Orioles. Maple Grove looking for a big stop. Osseo looking to convert a crucial first down, and flags fly. It was a pretty high snap also. Hughes snagged it, but going to be 5-yard mark-off here against Osseo. And again, like we said for Maple Grove, it is opening night. These things might be going to happen. Let's see if this changes anything for Osseo in terms of what they'll do here. Probably not.
I would guess not, but you know,
might be a different play call, though.
Different play call, but if you're committed to going for it on 4th down, you're probably going to stay committed to it. But
yeah, adding 5 more yards on a long field goal try probably doesn't.
Yeah,
you're not interested in that, and obviously you're too close to punt anyway. So here we go. Hughes dropping to throw. Throwing it up for grabs, batted and almost caught there. Well defended though, and on 4th down, not a bad gamble to throw that ball up. You're looking there for Karan Harmon, and Maple Grove getting back into position defensively there, and
looked like the Maple Grove player was going for the interception, which on a 4th down, 4th and relatively long, you throw the ball up, maybe you throw it up for grabs, and you hope the defensive guy has a mental lapse and intercepts the ball, and you're down at their own 1-yard line. That would be the idea there.
So Maple Grove holds after that turnover, and they will have it 1st and 10 on their 26-yard line. Davison handing off to Hanscom, runs into a wall and then is driven back hard. Omotoyinbo was first to a medium, and he got help there from Nick Norman, and they put Hanscom on his back. This one went nowhere.
Boy, there's a
despite a
block.
great block in the backfield there by Teddy Rash. A little crack there, but didn't help him get anywhere, and Hanscom was stuffed.
Yeah, and Omotoyinbo really stepped in and filled hard there. Again, that's the advantage of that 5 linebacker set, is that they've got multiple people that they can move in and out of the line of scrimmage from a wide variety of locations.
2nd and 10 now for the Crimson. Davison looking to throw. Steps up over the middle, and it is intercepted. Picked off by Johnson Falla. 3rd turnover already by Maple Grove, and Osseo again will have great field position at the Crimson 25.
Well, here we see, looked like it was a pretty good ball to a receiver. It looked like Rash was going to be fairly open, but very well defended by Falla to step in front and pick that off. And again, I'm sure Matt Lombardi's doing well. Let's see, we've had a bad snap, we've had a fumble, and now we've thrown an intercept. We've gotten just about all the different types of turnovers that we can have. Let's get them out of the way, and now let's go and play a clean game after this. That's very frustrating.
Hughes under center will go with the toss. Maple Grove all over it though, and stopped to look like a little short of the line of scrimmage as Kitterman came up to make the stop that time on Bala. Going to be a short loss, in fact, for the Orioles.
And Maple Grove's defense is definitely working to step up and make plays. You know, you get the ball 3 times deep in your own zone, and you've got to keep people out of the end zone. That puts an awful lot of pressure on your defense.
2nd and 11 here for the Orioles. They lead it 7-0 as we go under a minute to play in the first quarter, and we are going to have a flag flying here. I don't think, it's on Osseo. It was, they were getting close to being too much, delay a game, but instead it's a procedure call. So their 3rd penalty of the night.
The penalties have hurt both teams early on here. Osseo maybe a little bit more than Maple Grove so far.
Yeah, they lost the touchdown because of that block in the back.
Yep.
2nd and 16 now for the Orioles as Hughes takes the snap, stepping up, being chased to the outside. Hughes, ooh, a big-time collision there. He met up with, I think it was Haugen.
Jake Hansen, I think.
Or was it Hansen? Yeah. Then Hughes, an instant stop. He's a pretty put-together young guy, and he stopped in a hurry.
5'11", 215, and he got pretty well whapped.
Might have been the final play of the quarter here as we're under 10 seconds to go. I doubt they'll snap it again here.
Right.
Going to be a 3rd and long coming up for Osseo. So we have, in fact, completed 1 quarter here at Crimson Stadium. And kind of a wild one so far. Our score after 1, Osseo 7, Maple Grove nothing. We'll be right back here to Maple Grove.
I see you mobbing over her. Let's go. Let's mob. Let's crawl. Let's crawl. Let's crawl. Hey, yo, we mobbing. Come on, girl. Let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl. Hey, let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl.
Nice crowd on hand. Beautiful night for football here. And Bill, you and I were talking off air about how much more comfortable both these programs and all the teams are to have had the full regular weeks of practice leading up to the opener, unlike last year.
Last year was
in part because of the availability of TCF Bank Stadium at the end of the year. They had to adjust
really
things a little bit, and they really
yeah.
played at the end of their 2nd week of practice, which is when they're normally scrimmages. And I think everybody feels a lot more prepared this year.
And they look more prepared, too.
3rd down and long coming for Osseo. Hughes rolling to the right, throws, the pass complete, and a tackle broken, and this is going to be a touchdown for the Orioles as Ron Gray spun out of a tackle attempt, and he goes in for the touchdown from 29 yards out.
Well, and certainly the turnovers, as we see Hughes getting the ball off in pretty good order. Gray makes a nice grab. Make sure he has the grab. And the defender came on his inside. He spun to the outside, and there was nobody else there to make the play.
Kick is up, but if we had a flag before the play, it looks like they're going to march off 5, and Osceo's Lum will have to try it again. Looks as though they may be signaling illegal substitution, perhaps.
If you don't huddle, I'm not sure how you have an illegal substitution.
I could be misleading or misreading that he was.
Yeah, the referee has twice put his hand across his chest.
Oh,
it's offside.
Offside against the defense. Okay.
Okay, now you're going to kick it or go for 2? Going to kick it.
Looks as though they're keeping Lum out there.
Yep.
This time kicking in the other direction, of course. Oh, and he snags it to the left, and it is no good. Wow. The first kick he had actually made, he followed through with it after the whistle blew.
Yeah.
This time pulls it to the left. And another look at that touchdown. And as you said, Gray made a great move right there.
Right. You know, and the defender came to the wrong side. The defender came to the inside of the receiver, and usually you would rather have your defender, particularly on a one-on-one situation like that, play to the outside, come up to the outside, and force the guy to turn back inside where you got help. If he's allowed to turn by himself to the outside, the result is going to be a touchdown.
I'm thinking Maple Grove not happy with the angle, but also where's everybody else? Normally you get a completion on that, and it's not an easy walk to the end zone, even if you beat the first guy, and that's how it turned out to be. So give Osseo some credit, maybe formation. That was one thing. These teams, Maple Grove changed a little bit too, but Osseo obviously changing more. They wanted that to be their advantage. Okay, we've got a new staff, but a wild card of what we're going to do, and we're seeing some of that here tonight.
Exactly, and you know, I'm sure that nobody on the Maple Grove side anticipated 3 possessions, 3 turnovers, and actually 3 touchdowns. Only 2 are recorded because of the illegal block.
This time will be returnable, and cutting to the outside and knocked down right near the 20-yard line that time was Christensen. Here's Lum. Oh, you see the snap was a little bit,
Yep.
The hold was as good as could be expected, but Seelock, you know, it wasn't clean, and you can see that one maybe not so much on the kicker as we maybe first thought.
Spun off. He may have even missed the edge of the tee and had the ball misplaced.
So the Crimson get it back. They've been a little hit and miss offensively, and obviously those turnovers the big thing. From the 19, here's Hanscom taking the handoff and driven back. And you see what Hanscom did is up over 700 yards for him as kind of a change up to Isaac Collins, of course, their dynamite playmaker from a year ago.
Absolutely, yep.
So from the 23, 2nd down and 6 now for Davison and the Crimson. Fakes the handoff. Davison rolling right, looking, fires, and threads the needle. Good for a first down as he's able to connect that time with Dugan. Nice quick stop, but boy, he put that ball, a nice ball in. There wasn't a whole lot of window to work with there.
And here, Davison does a nice job of making a play first with his feet and then with his arm to get the ball upfield so that they get the first down. That's really their best offensive play of the day so far.
Pick up a 14 here to the 37-yard line. 1st and 10 now for Maple Grove. As they try and battle back from a 13-0 deficit against their arch rivals. Here's Davison. Now scrambling right, throws it on the run, and was it caught? No, not in bounds anyway. Maple Grove thought so. Carlson protesting, but apparently didn't quite get that foot down as Davison was under pretty good pressure. It put a nice ball right on the sideline, and then Maple Grove was excited. They thought they had a good catch. Ooh, I'm not so sure that left foot wasn't down.
That was very close. Coach Lombo needs to throw his red flag out on the.
Yeah, I can see why they. That was a heck of a grab, and it looked like that left foot might have still been in contact, and obviously only 1 foot needed in high school ball as compared to 2 in the NFL. 2nd down, here's Davison rolling to the left, throwing again on the run, and has the completion right out near midfield as he's able to hook up with Dugan again, and showing a nice ability to throw on the run.
Especially going to his left, he shows. I've watched. We've watched, Brad Davison for this is the 3rd season now. Him as a starter, and his mechanics as a thrower have really improved, and he does a very nice job throwing on the move, getting his shoulders and hips, in the right position so he can get the ball downfield.
Davison with a quarterback keep all the way here, and he has some room to work with, and trying to run through a tackle, maybe get his team fired up a little bit as Adam Plumoff came up to hit him, and Davison tried to run through him there, and then the help arrived here from Johnson Fowler. But watch him, he said, I'm not going to skip out of bounds or anything.
No. And credit the defender giving up all of about 50 pounds to Brad Davison.
Got 14 yards, so Maple Grove on the march here. Early 2nd quarter, 1st and 10 on Osseo's 38. Turnovers have been their nemesis, obviously, in the early going. Davison will give it to Hanscom. Hanscom, nice pickup there, well blocked on that right side of the offensive line. He's going to get about 8.
Yeah, that offensive right side featuring JT Awashika at the right tackle. He gets a good down block. You see the guard coming around to lead that play. That makes that's a nice pickup on 1st down. Hanscom does a good job of following his left guard up into the line of scrimmage and getting a very nice gain.
2nd and a couple now for the Crimson. Davison fakes the handoff, and he'll tuck it up, and he will have that first down for Maple Grove down to about the 26 or 27 yard line. Give him 3 there, and he saw where he needed to get to, and nice tackle by Volonce, but not able to stop him from getting that first down. One of the bigger quarterbacks you'll probably see in high school ball, and Davison has gotten a little stronger each year too, and he's not afraid of contact. Obviously.
No, he isn't. That was a nice read that he had on the defensive end as well.
Davison looking to throw over the middle, and intercepted one more time. Adam Plumhoff with the pick, looking to get a block, and then tackled by his own teammate basically as he cut back across the field. But he'll be down at the 38 or so of Maple Grove, and the turnover bug hits the Crimson one more time. We've been chalking up Davison, this time throwing over the middle into some traffic, his second interception given.
Yeah, that ball didn't have a chance. And Plumhoff does a nice job of getting downfield. And he says, you want to run over me? I'll pick the ball off and I'll return it for 30 yards. So 4 possessions and 4 turnovers for the Crimson. Not the way they envisioned starting the season, obviously.
You could make the case they're lucky to only be down 13 here.
Yes, absolutely.
Here's Hughes handing it off, and well defended that time. Stop made by Ben Paschke, is not a lot working there for Karan Harmon, and he'll get a yard on the play. Seems as though Maple Grove has, started to figure out some things in the run game, at least for Osseo, although they've been hurt with the pass a couple times. 2nd and 9 here for Hughes and the Orioles. Fakes the handoff, now rolling left. Hughes throwing a little jump pass, and he gets it there. And then tackled and dragged out of bounds for the Orioles there was Jeff Ekior. And that'll be enough for the first down for the Orioles.
And again, it's impressive that Marmar Hughes not throwing a great football, but he gets the ball to the open receiver. The receiver is doing a great job of getting themselves open. And the only way that Hughes could have delivered that was exactly the way he did. He had to jump. Otherwise, if he'd have tried to step into it, he would have been tackled for a loss.
So first down on the 24 of Maple Grove as Osseo looks to try and go up by 3 scores in this one. Hughes going to run it, and he is met and wrapped up. Jake Hansen was there. Allen was there. Eugene Horton helping out as well. So short loss on the play of about a yard for Marmar Hughes, his 8th carry tonight, but he's been very efficient in the pass game, 3 for 4 and a couple of touchdowns.
Whereas Brad Davison has completed 3 or 4 passes, but he's also served up 2 interceptions.
Second and 11 now for the Orioles. Hughes will hand it off. And driving forward for a short pickup was Balia there. He'll get a couple on that play as Maple Grove had 3 defenders there. He did what he could. Realized there's no room for dancing around here. I just got to get forward as far as I can.
Sometimes you just got to do that.
So 3rd and long coming for the Orioles offense after Maple Grove had turned the ball over yet again. Crimson defense probably saying, help us out a little bit here. We're giving them great field position, but they've come up with a couple of stops, but then again, they've been scored on a couple times. And looks like Horton jumping into the neutral zone there. 5-yard mark off against the Crimson. Not enough for the first down, but it'll make it a little more manageable 3rd down here.
Right, especially when you're in 4-down territory, going from 3rd and 9 to 3rd and 4. It's a big difference. That's a huge difference.
You got, you can be even thinking about using your short yardage offense here if you wanted to. Instead, they're going to go 3 wide here and a single back next to Hughes. Hughes rolling to his right. Going to tuck this one and run, and not much doing as he is bumped out of bounds. And it'll be 4th down for the Orioles.
And pretty much no gain, so it's going to be 4th and 4.
So pretty crucial 4th down here. We're about approaching the midway point of the second quarter, and a 13-0 Osseo lead on the road. Maple Grove trying to make a stop here.
Sounds funny to say on the road when they're two
they
miles up the road.
Travel too far, but still.
It's an away game, and you're playing in another place which you're not familiar with.
And looks like Osseo is going to use a timeout. They either weren't sure of themselves or didn't get the defensive look they expected. And wise move there to take the timeout. As you see there, Royce Winford, we said the offensive coordinator, and he was a great football player for Osseo and also for Augsburg.
Mm-hmm.
Had a heck of a career there for the Augies, and been around this Osseo program. Always fun to talk to Royce at the games. He's always been so helpful to us too. And previous years have been up in the booth. So if we had any question, when he was going up top, it was stop Royce, and he'd give you the lowdown. So.
Yeah, he's a genuinely good guy and good coach. He's done a really good job working with the offensive players over at Osseo for quite a number of years now.
And looks like they're going to go field goal here. Dean Lum is on the field. This would be a 36-yard attempt. Sealock the holder. Last time they missed an extra point, but we'll see what he can do. This time a good snap. Lum gets his foot into it, has plenty of leg, and the kick, though, is no good. Wide left. So the distance was not a problem at all, but didn't quite put it through the uprights, and Maple Grove will hold on downs here and get the football back.
Well, we see Lum does a nice job of getting the ball up in the air. And just slid a little bit wide of the left upright.
That's one of those that from up here, I wouldn't have said it. I would have said it might have been good. I mean, it was so high, it's hard to tell. Obviously, they've got the vantage point down there.
But in a sense, Maple Grove has dodged a couple of bullets here. With the turnovers they've had, four turnovers in a game is horrible. 4 turnovers in a half is worse.
No turnover here as Dugan making the catch. Davison got hit just as he threw it, but hit Dugan in stride, and that's going to be a pickup of 20 yards for the Crimson and another first down.
Yeah, nice pass by Brad Davison to get the ball out, and he's had some good success getting the ball into the flat to a receiver who's running pretty much full speed when he catches the ball.
So they've certainly had moments when they've looked good on offense, but pretty hard to continue looking good when you give the football up.
Absolutely.
Davison will keep it here, gets a good block, and Davison reaching for that 50-yard line. Looks like he may have enough for the first down. Tucked in behind, I believe the guy who threw a key block there was Cooper McManaman. As you see, they're working on Zion Allen a little bit there, unfortunately.
A little bit of a cramp. Too comfortable to have a cramp tonight.
Stop made there. A couple guys, but Plumhoff helping to get it done there for the Orioles, but the first down gainer right to midfield. 1st and 10 from the 50 now for Davison and crew. Davison looking for some room, and he is wrapped up and brought down. Kind of a defensive lineman's dream a little bit there as he was gathered in by Jacob Jones, number 15, and got a yard out of it. So 5:20 to go in this second quarter. Maple Grove trailing Osseo 13-0. Crimson trying to put a march together here and see if they can't get on the board for the first time. 2nd and long here, though. Davison, plenty of time, throwing over the middle again, and nearly picked off one more time. And again, that was Plumhoff getting there, and that time couldn't quite squeeze it, but batted it away.
Plumhoff has been right there. The passes that Maple Grove has had over the middle, been a lot of people in white jerseys floating around in the middle zones there, and which indicates to me that that's not an open spot for them to throw to, because they've had 2 interceptions and a knockdown on 3 passes up deep over the middle.
3rd and 9 for Maple Grove. Davison hit as he throws again, and just incomplete. Diving try at it there for Teddy Rash. The pressure got there just as he was releasing that ball, and it was not much off, but just enough to make it an incompletion, and Maple Grove looked like they will have to boot it away. Carter Kitterman is on, and keep in mind the first punt snap sailed over his head. Interesting, Hanscom, their leading running back, is the long snapper for Maple Grove. I'll say it now because I didn't want to really mention it the first time because he had a little bit of a miscue. But
there you go.
This time on target. Kitterman with the boot. It's a spinning kick. Not an easy one to handle, and hits an Osseo player on the head and scooped up. The ball will not be a touchdown, but it will be recovered by Maple Grove at about the 15-yard line. I believe as they're going to rule it hit Osseo's player on the helmet or shoulder.
Right, you can't advance a muffed punt. This is not a fumble, this is a muff.
Well, they're discussing it now to make sure that it was an Osseo player that had hit. Allen going into the end zone, we knew it wasn't going to count, but whose ball is it going to be? And Osseo, it sounds like they're listening into the officials, and they seem to be indicating that maybe it isn't going to be Maple Grove ball, or at least they're hopeful.
It sure looked like it hits the Osseo player right in the head.
Yeah, they're saying illegal touching. Oh, it hits Maple Grove first or not?
How is that an illegal touch? He's allowed to make a play on the guy.
No, it is going to be Maple Grove.
Yeah,
football,
that's not an illegal touch. There's no way.
So the Crimson will get it on the 15-yard line of the Orioles, and right now Ryan Stockhouse is out pleading his case with the official.
Which I can't blame him. You got to find out what's going on and who did what, and where's the football.
With the naked eye, I thought it seemed like it was relatively clear cut that it hit the Osseo player first, but then seeing it again, it was really close.
That one frame, it really is confusing. But on that last pass play before the punt, Brad Davison came off the field, and he had gotten a shot in the midsection that kind of knocked the stuffing out of him a little bit.
Hanscom takes the pitch, pays the price at the end, but he is down inside the 10-yard line and will gain about 7 on that play. He got turned around, and then about 3 more guys in white jerseys got him and kind of gave him a rough ride to the turf. But you'll take that when it's a 7-yard gain.
Absolutely.
Huge turn here for Maple Grove as they get the football right back. Davison giving to Hanscom again, and this time stacked up. Osseo saying the ball was out. Yeah, no signal to indicate that, though. No, officials are saying he was down.
Yep.
Nice stop there by Novalance there for Osseo.
I noticed that Zion Allen is still on the sideline getting treated for, looks like a cramp in his calf.
So 3rd and 4 here for Maple Grove. Davison's going to run it right. Gets a good block, lowers his shoulder, and he'll be first and goal to go inside the 5. As Davison, that one was exactly how they designed it. They got they got a couple blocks on the edge to allow him to really get up to full speed right away without having to worry about anything.
And he does a good job of getting his shoulders over his toes as he comes into contact and leaning into the contact so that he's falling forward. So after he gets hit, he's making another yard or so, which can be critical. About 2 minutes and 45 seconds remaining in the half. So a score here would certainly put Maple Grove back into the game.
First and goal to go on the 4-yard line. Davison will sprint left, and he will walk on in for the touchdown. Maple Grove on the board for the first time, and the youth football players mob him. And this time it counts. Of course, they thought Allen had scored a little bit on that muff punt. Instead, it will be Davison finishing off the drive with a 4-yard run. Just running really sweep left here and really had them outgunned. You could see pretty much right when he got a few strides into that, he was likely going to score.
Yeah, they did a very good job of outflanking the defense and giving Davison a running lane to get into the end zone.
Andy Peterson on to attempt the extra point, and his kick is up, and it is good. And with 2:33 to go in the second quarter, Maple Grove pulls to within 13-7. And the fans on the near side getting something to cheer about here after Osseo had made more of the big plays in the early going here. So Crimson to within 6. I guess if there was any negative to it is they maybe would have liked to use up more of the time down to the half and not give Osseo a chance to get the ball back, but obviously you take the yards when they're there.
Yeah, and except for except for the 2 pass interceptions, Maple Grove's offense has actually been pretty good. Osseo, for the fact that they've been relatively in control of the game, is still only ahead by 6, and they've had the ball inside the Maple Grove zone virtually the entire half. This will be interesting to see the dynamic now of how well the Osseo offense can operate if they're going to end up being deep in their own zone at the 20 or even inside the 20.
Peterson with the kickoff. Ball chased over to the 5 and trying to bounce free. A big scrum there out over the 20 to about the 23. Let's go down to the sideline now to Allie.
Yeah, guys, after that Davison touchdown, there's a little more fuel to this fire on the Maple Grove sideline. Davison telling his team, he said, guys, we got beat up that first half, but now we're going. Now we're ready.
Thanks, Allie, and Davison very much a leader of this team, obviously with as much experience and the way he plays, but definitely he obviously traveled a fair amount in the summer for basketball, and it bugged him any day he couldn't be with his football guys too. And obviously that's the choice you make being a great two-sport athlete. But
absolutely.
I congratulate him for continuing to play football even though he's a scholarship athlete in another sport. Hughes able to break free of that first tackler, but there's still more guys in black jerseys, and they wrap him up. A little shy of the line of scrimmage here. He'll lose a couple on that play. Hughes did a pretty good job here to get out of the first tackle attempt.
Right there.
But you see the good pursuit by the Crimson. They just stayed with it and able to converge on Hughes and drop him.
And that's I'm glad you say that, the pursuit, because that's a hallmark of Maple Grove defense is that they pursue to the ball with 11 guys, and that's the way you like to teach defense right from the beginning.
Hughes dropped the snap, but it looks like he got it back himself. Obviously, it interrupts that play, though. I think Maple Grove's going to use a quick timeout. They want to get the football back.
Absolutely. You've got 2 left. You know, if you get a good stuff here on third down, take it to your last time out, you get the ball back with about 120, 125 on the clock.
See, Hughes never had that snap, and it did get kicked by his guard, so they were a little bit fortunate, or Hughes was just quick to the ball.
Yeah, it was kicked by the guard right back to him. He was on the ground when the ball got kicked back to him.
Well, the script flips a little bit here. You're thinking, okay, Osseo has the ball back, but now they're going to be facing 3rd and 12, and a team that, you know, maybe not super comfortable, even though they've been effective in the passing game. It's mainly been when it's a surprise. So
right.
We'll see. Maple Grove might really pin their ears back and see if they can't make a big play here.
Yeah, play action pass. Yeah, play action pass on 3rd and 12 is not necessarily going to get the job done. Puts a lot of pressure on your offensive line, especially they're going to know that, you know, there might be 6, even 7 guys coming at them from the Maple Grove defense.
3 receivers set here for the Orioles. Hughes rolling to his right. Now stops, cuts it back, and he is going to be cut down short of the line of scrimmage. See if they'll use another timeout, and they did. And Hughes, I think, was a little reluctant to take a chance here throwing this ball downfield. And
I can't
probably
say
not a bad, yeah, probably not a bad thing in that spot. Obviously, he's seen how it's hurt Maple Grove when they've, thrown the ball into traffic a time or two. And at this point, you're not loving a punt, but you're loving it more than an interception.
Right. If for a guy who's, he's starting his first game as a quarterback, he's not a natural quarterback, hasn't played there at least in the last couple of years in his high school career. So that's a very smart play to just take your lumps and punt the ball rather than trying to figure out how can I get the ball downfield and try to make a great play and then have something really bad happen.
Kai Carlson back to receive the punt of Chia. Obviously, we've had some mishaps in the punt game here so far. Not a very long punt, but it takes a nice great Osseo bounce, so all the way back into Maple Grove territory at about the 45 or 46 yard line. So not a bad result ultimately out of it, about a 35-yard kick. Maple Grove, minute 16 to go. They've got to cover about 54 yards to reach the end zone. They've used up their timeouts already, but again, a veteran quarterback who can work the clock a little bit. They have been pretty effective throwing the ball to the sidelines.
Absolutely.
Too,
that's been their best routes have been getting the ball to people coming out into the flat. And you've got plenty of time. You don't have to panic. You don't have to get it all in one play. You can kind of chip away a little bit at it and let Davison throw the ball to the sideline and pick things off.
Davison trying to step through the rush. Got by one, but not the second, as he is tossed down there by Tawan Wante for Osseo. A sack will cost them about 5 yards.
Yep, and more importantly, it's going to cost them about 40 seconds on the clock.
Yeah, you're right. That's almost bigger than the yardage.
It looked like they were trying to go downfield with that pass rather than getting the ball out in the flat and letting somebody step out of bounds.
Davison throwing, and they weren't on the same page there as Dugan continued his route upfield, and it sails out of bounds. So 3rd and 10 coming up. Or 3rd and 15, I should say, after that sack.
I still believe you don't have to try to get 15 or 16 yards in one play here. Yeah, you're 3rd down and very long, but if you get 8 or 9 yards and you can get the ball out of bounds, stop the clock, you got a good chance on 4th down to do a similar type play. And at 8 seconds at a shot, you can dink the ball downfield and do pretty well.
Davison going to run now. Flag is down. Offside against Osseo. So presumably they're going to put the time back on. It was a dead ball.
It was a dead ball foul, so it should go back to.
Although I didn't see any signal from the official to indicate that they needed to put time back on.
Yeah, you should. And Coach Lombardi or somebody on his staff ought to be chirping at that. There was probably 2 or 3 seconds that ran off. It was at about 44 when the ball was snapped. It's 41-8 now. It's
3rd and 10, a little less daunting maybe for an offense. Davison throwing and complete for the first down as he's able to hook up once more with Dugan. Dugan, one of those small, quick, shifty receivers.
And he's running all the way. He recognizes a man coverage, and Dugan does a good job of getting all the way across the field to get into the flat to be open and then get out of bounds. 35 seconds remaining here in the half.
Just Dugan at 5'10", not really that small, but
he looks small.
Shifty. Davison rolling right on first down. Now going to look to tuck it and run. Got away from a high tackle there and grabbed around the ankle by Alongse. And he will pick up about 7. I give him 6, actually, it looks like. But time is a factor now.
Like 13 seconds now. That's a tough decision to make when the clock is a huge factor to tuck the ball and run. But a pretty well played defense by Osseo to take away the 1 and 2 choices on the pass pattern.
So 3rd and 4, but the time certainly an issue for Maple Grove. They're out of timeouts, 13 seconds to go. Davison looking, firing toward the sideline and incomplete. Trying to go to the turf and make that grab was rash. That's a long throw to make, throwing it that low.
Yes.
It's difficult to have the arm to get that ball there.
Right.
I mean, it's a good spot because it wasn't bad coverage.
Yeah, and Rash almost makes a great play on the ball, but the ball hit the turf and bounced out of his hand.
Looks like Osseo may be going to use a timeout here, make sure that they are on the same page defensively here. 4th and 4, 8 seconds to go. Maple Grove right now, I'm thinking you probably throw the ball up into the end zone. You can't count on having 2 plays even, so might as well give it a shot. You got Rash, who's a good size wide
6'5" receiver.
Yeah.
So
and you never know. You get a tip ball, you get a pass interference.
Yeah, anything can happen.
So look at Andy Priscala, the defensive coordinator now for Osseo, and they're moving it some on against his D, but they've overall had an excellent first half when you could figure in those turnovers.
Yeah, they've really moved the ball relatively well, but they've shot themselves in the foot so many times that but the one thing that I think that, taking a time out here for Osseo is a very good call, because the last thing you want to do is give up a go-ahead score with no time on the clock before halftime.
Here we go, 4th down. Davison firing complete. It's a little hook and lateral, and Dugan down to the 12-yard line with .2 on a quick stoppage of the clock. Osseo saying, how come this time didn't run out? Nicely called play, although Osseo didn't play it too badly. They were still back in position. There's actually Hughes back there to...
they had plenty of guys back there. Now, at this point, Jay, they're going to go for a touchdown, but you might think, well, they are going to kick a field goal. Yeah, I would say why not kick a field goal with this little time? It's put you that much closer if it's good.
29-yard try coming up here for Peterson, and Osseo is going to use a timeout. Make him think about it a little bit. Carlson is the holder for the Crimson, and Interesting turn all the way down to the end of the half, and Osseo, you could just kind of read their mind saying, "What's up with that slow clock?"
Right.
But a great setup here is you have Dugan coming in behind, and he takes the pitch.
Yeah, and Hughes does a good job of giving a little ground and making Dugan, run out of bounds, and giving up a little bit of ground. Maybe Dugan takes one more step in bounds, and the clock runs out, and you're at halftime. And that was well played by Marmar Hughes. I really like the way he showed some poise on that.
So they'll apparently give Peterson a try. Lum missed a field goal, which was longer at the other end. This is a little better wind-wise, but Peterson trying for 29 yards out to tighten it up. Here's his kick. It has the distance, and it is good as the half comes to an end. So it ultimately proves to be a very good decision for Maple Grove as Peterson drills a field goal to pull the Crimson out of within 13-10 as we head into halftime.
That's gorgeous. Yeah, that's a really positive way to end the half, and Maple Grove gets the ball in the kickoff at the start of the second half. So
Orioles still with a 13-10 lead, although the early parts of the game looked more, dominant for them with obviously the turnovers mostly. They went out to that 13-0 lead. Maple Grove has battled back here late in that first half, really.
It's with all the bad things that happened to Maple Grove, to show some poise and be able to come back and get themselves back in the ball game in the second quarter really shows that their experience is starting to come through. They're going to really have to work in the second half. Now Osseo is going to have to really figure out something at halftime to be able to move the football. They haven't really been able to move it.
Great night for football, and we hope you are enjoying this one. And for the first time in his Osseo coaching career, we're going to visit with Ryan Stockhouse. Let's go down to Allie.
Hey, thanks, guys. Maple Grove's first 4 possessions, you guys force 4 turnovers. Is this new team of yours a defensive one?
Absolutely. We really love what we got going defensively. Our guys get real amped up. We really swarm to the ball, and we got a lot of speed. So what we got to do is make sure our offense can sustain some drives and keep our defense fresh on the sideline. I think if we're fresh and ready to go, we're going to continue to bring some noise to them and stir them up in there a little bit. Go ahead.
Matching up that offense with that defense, what do you want to see out of your team that you didn't see in that first half?
I want to see us spread them out a little bit. I want to see us sustain some drives and then really punch in. We got to take advantage of the turnovers. So when we create turnovers, we got to make sure they turn into points.
Good luck in the second, Coach.
Thank you.
Back to you guys.
Thanks very much, Ellie, and thanks to Coach Stockhouse. We'll be hearing from Coach Lombardi coming back into our second half. We will take a break here at Crimson Stadium. It's 13-10 Osseo over Maple Grove at halftime. Welcome back here to Maple Grove Crimson Stadium on a great night for football. Maple Grove dance team on the field, and let's enjoy a little of their performance here in our halftime.
pray. That's why I need a witness. Gotta hear say in my head. One more time, but I go. I have powers taking a hold on me. Ain't no telling what I'm feeling beyond. Hey, I'm beyond all that. Little mama, would you like to be my sunshine? I touch my game, we gon' turn this to gold. Ice on my neck, cost me 10 times 3. $30,000 for a new get free. Okay, ladies, now let's get information. I slay. Okay, ladies, now let's get information. I slay.
Nice performance by the Crimson Dance team. 13-10 Osseo over Maple Grove at halftime. Our halftime festivities continue in a moment. We'll hear from a new leader here at Maple Grove Athletics.
I rescued Toast from a shelter in 2011. I love Toast because she's a lazy diva. Toast does whatever she wants, obviously. She's sleeping right now. She's an epic snuggler. She's so comforting. She's so loving. Toast makes me laugh. When I walked into the shelter, I knew right then that she was special.
Welcome back to the season opener, Maple Grove and Osseo football. And joining us now, the new activities coordinator at Maple Grove, Ricardo Jones. And I know kind of a late summer thing for you. It's got to be a little hectic, but how are you enjoying the first days here at Maple Grove?
I love it, and especially today to get brought in on a day like today is awesome. This experience tonight for the kids, for the fans, it's going to be a great night. So.
You've been around a good athletic program over at Eden Prairie. Tell us a little bit about your background in athletics and administration.
I started in Eden Prairie 11 years ago in administration in the teaching and learning department down there in Eden Prairie. I've been coaching ever since 2005 was my first year coaching. Moved into activities in 2010. So I've been in activities for 6 years. Now I'm here. Excited to be here. So.
Obviously, it's still real early for you at Maple Grove, but what are your first impressions of the school and of the athletic program overall?
The athletic programs are really good from what I'm learning, and especially this rivalry is something special. And, it's been a great experience so far. Everyone has been so supportive and just really have helped me in my transition here.
Students return on Tuesday, the official kickoff of school, but obviously sports have been going on for a couple weeks. What are some of the things you need to do or want to do, early in this fall season to kind of get things established with you at the helm?
Well, I don't want to change anything right away. I want to learn from the coaches and kind of get a better understanding of how they've been doing things over the last couple years, and we'll evaluate at the end of the season, and we'll move from there.
You touched on it, the rivalry. I mean, they have a new head coach over at Osseo. You're brand new to this, but were you surprised at the intensity of this rivalry when you first got here?
I've heard about it, but as we got closer to game day, I've started to feel it, and the tweets and just the conversation around the rivalry. It's super exciting. I mean, I can't wait. I couldn't wait for today. I couldn't sleep last night, so I'm really excited for today and ready for this game to happen today.
Ricardo, thanks so much for joining us, and good luck in your new position here at Maple Grove.
Thank you. My pleasure.
All right, Ricardo Jones in charge of athletics now at Maple Grove High School. We'll continue with our coverage of the Orioles and the Crimson coming up next on 12 Sports.
Every time I hear the alarm bell go off in school, I think it's an air raid.
A lot of houses in our neighborhood have been destroyed. I like to close my ears and sing songs whenever the bombs come close.
I'm worried our new neighbors won't like us.
But I know it's all gonna be worth it. I just want my family to be safe. But these are not my words.
These are not my words.
These are not my words.
field at Crimson Stadium. 13-10 Osseo, our score at halftime, as we check out some first half highlights in this matchup between the Crimson and the Orioles. There's Davison rolling right and tripped up. Nice stop there by the long save for Osseo. And then here's Hughes, Marmar Hughes flipping the pass, and Bauer taking it in for the first touchdown. That one came after they got the ball at the 10-yard line after a high punt snap by Maple Grove. And a nice run here by Dugan on the sweep, but then has it punched out. This looks like a touchdown, but right there was an illegal block in the back, so the recovery counted, but not the return for the touchdown. But Osseo said that's okay, we're going to score anyway, which they ultimately did. There's the interception right there, the first one anyway, by Johnson Falla, coming up with that pick over the middle for the Orioles. And then Hughes completing it to Gray, and he turns away from the defender. And I think even he might have been a little surprised that there was no other guys in black out there waiting for him, and he's able to get in for the 29-yard touchdown. They missed the extra point, though. It was 13-0. Davison throwing, and a great interception there by Plumhoff for Osseo. For a moment, it looked like he might go all the way, but then he cut back, and teammate kind of got into his way a little bit, but he couldn't see that coming really, so still a big play for Osseo. But then here's a big one for Maple Grove as the punt hits the blocker there. The touchdown return obviously does not count, but they got the football in great field position, and Brad Davison made it count as he takes it in for 4 yards out. That came about 2.5 minutes to go in the second quarter. Maple Grove had been shooting themselves in the foot earlier, but they got on the board there to go within 13-7. And then a big hook and lateral play here sets them up for what comes at the end, as Osseo gets the stop here, but Maple Grove gets enough yardage to set up this play as Peterson knocks it through right at the end of the first half to make it a 13-10 margin. You see, Osseo, because they've had such short fields after turnovers, they haven't really gotten that many yards. They've been outgained by nearly 100 yards by Maple Grove, but you see the turnovers, the real big story in this first half, and the momentum certainly with Maple Grove heading into halftime, Bill, but we'll see if that will carry over.
And they're going to get the ball back at the beginning of the half here, so it's an important potential change of momentum to get the last score of the half, and then to be able to get the opportunity to try to score first in the second half.
So it's 13-10 Orioles at halftime, and we'll look at some other games happening in the West Metro District, as Coon Rapids having a lead on Hopkins. Of course, a real big one. Totino Grace leading Eden Prairie at this point. Edina and Andover all tied up. Of course, Edina is where former Osseo coach Darren Lamker went as an offensive assistant, and Centennial in the lead, and nothing in yet on those other games up to this point. But obviously TG Eden Prairie, a very big clash to start the season as well. We'll take a quick break and come back with more here from Maple Grove. It's 13-10 Osseo.
Most of my family, they never graduated high school or even let alone go to college, so I'm trying to break that barrier. Every day after work, went straight to school, studied hard, and it paid off. I could not have done it alone. I see the future is really bright for me. The high school diploma is just added to the confidence, and now I feel unstoppable.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
They said a bottle was just a bottle. That no one would ever notice me. But I knew I could be more. That one day, I would make people smile.
The color in my garden keeps the pink in my cheeks. I was very independent and thought I could take care of myself. I fell and I had to have Meals on Wheels. They're my savior. My name is Lola Silvestri. America, let's do lunch.
Drop off a hot meal and say hello. Volunteer by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
And welcome back here to Crimson Stadium. A good one to start the season here like we had last year when Osseo and Maple Grove played. And Bill, I'm going to make the case that last year is the best year we've had of football in all the years that I've worked at Channel 12. You had Osseo winning the state title.
Right.
You had Maple Grove in the semis in 6A. You had Totino Grace in the semis in 6A. You had Wayzata in the quarterfinals in 6A. But not just those. You go down a little bit deeper. Armstrong had the best year they've had in a long time.
Absolutely.
You had Park Center making a section final in Class 5A. You had Cooper having a very strong year.
Cooper had a very good year, yep.
I really honestly think that is the best year of football that we've had in the
I
area.
can't recall in the last 28 or 29 years that we've had as many good teams playing well at the end of the season as we did last year. It seems like every year there's one or two teams in one or two divisions that are doing pretty well. But certainly they've got, last year was an outstanding one.
So the teams making their way back out onto the field, and that includes the coaches, and Matt Lombardi standing by with Allie.
All right, Coach, about 4 turnovers, more than you would have liked to have seen in that first half. What was that disconnect on your offense?
It looked like we were going for a state record. I thought we were going to try to get 6 or 7, but we didn't quite get it. But at least we turned it around a little bit. Give Osseo credit. They came out and played with a lot more composure than we did. But I was proud we kind of somehow got it back to 10, or 13-10. So as bad as we played, and we did not play very well, we're still in this thing. So I told the kids, you just got to play with belief. You got to have a look in your eye that there's no doubt, and that's what this is about. It's fun to be challenged, and if you're not loving being challenged, then I don't understand that.
Osseo coming with that defensive pressure. How do you shut them down in this second?
Up front, we just got there doing some stunts. They're running a stack front, which we knew, but I think we're okay. I really thought up front we did well. We just made bad decisions behind it. So we're going to be all right, but like I said, I just hope we can face a challenge and enjoy it. We look too serious for me.
Bad decisions behind after the second half. Good luck.
Thanks.
Back to you guys.
Thanks, Allie. And Coach Lombardi doing his best to, to calm his guys maybe more than chew them out, which is kind of refreshing, and that's how he has generally been as a coach as well. We're going to take one more time out here, and then we will come back with our second half of football. We'll see which team starts 1-0 and which one has to take an early loss here. Maple Grove and Osseo doing battle here on 12 Sports.
Did you know kids who play outdoors have healthier lungs?
Totally. Did you know that boys that play with dolls make better husbands?
My son has lots of dolls.
But did you know terry cloth diapers breathe better?
I did.
It's totally true.
Oh, yeah.
Did you guys know statistically friendly kids have more friends?
Yeah.
That's obvious.
Did you know most people think they're using the right car seat for their kid, but they're not?
Parents who really know it all know for sure that their child is in the right seat. Visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat to make sure your child is protected.
Welcome back here to Crimson Stadium as our season opener and Osseo Maple Grove season opener as well. Friday night we'll be seeing an IMAC conference game as Providence Academy and Breck do battle. So kind of nice when you get these early weeks. Sometimes you get 2 for 1. You get a Thursday night game and a Friday night game.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Providence has got a couple of pretty good players. Breck, see what they have this year. They've had some really good history over the last 15, 20 years, but the last couple of years they've kind of struggled. So it'll be interesting to see how that IMAC conference works out, realizing that they're playing in the same kind of districts that everybody else is. But
You're right. I'm sorry. IMAC conference teams, but not an IMAC conference game.
Exactly.
We saw a good look at Leafy and then the Oriole. They're on mid-season form. They got the the uniforms all cleaned up and ready to go here for this season as well. So Lum will kick off here for Osseo. Maple Grove, as Bill said, does get the football to begin the second half. And this ball going to be fielded in the field of play just barely by Carlson there. Carlson gets a good block. To the outside he goes, and he's all the way out to the 35-yard line. Maple Grove gets some good field position there.
That was really a nice run back. It sure looked like Carlson stepped into the end zone, stepped on the goal line, but the referee standing right next to him didn't see that. He might
have been all right.
Yeah.
If that heel wasn't down, I think he was good.
You're right. But he gets a really good run back because he got some really good blocking up along the sideline there between the hash mark and the sideline.
So Crimson football on the 35, 1st and 10. They scored the last 10 points of that first half, as Coach Lombardi said, after playing and making as many mistakes as they could earlier on. Here's Davison on the run, and about 7 on that gain as they got a good surge on the right side, as Lanners was there to kind of absorb Davison's shoulder there and make the stop.
And the offensive line has done a really good job all night getting some running lanes for both Hanscom and Davison. And certainly that play was no exception, but I think we're going to see a little bit more of a consistent running game coming from the Crimson here.
Fakes the handoff. Davison bouncing off a hit and falls forward for the first down with ease out to about the 49. Give him another 7 on that carry right there. So they haven't had any real big long runs, but they've consistently been able to move it. It's just the turnovers that have really hurt them.
Exactly, and that's what they need to find is that consistency in their running game, because once that consistent running game starts to develop, then the linebackers start to cinch up a little bit. They become a little bit more run-oriented, and then your passing game can open up.
Handoff is to Hanscom, trying to bounce it to the outside. Chased out of bounds, just into Osseo territory. He'll get a couple on that play. Pretty solid job defensively there by Osseo to string that one out and force him out of bounds.
So it looked like he got a lot more than they did. But right there, he gets forced out of bounds. Yep.
Not a bad job getting off the block that time by Yang, as he didn't really make a tackle, but at least made it, was able to angle him out. And Maple Grove, a little bit of confusion on getting personnel in here. Davison all the way over to get the play directly from Coach Lombardi, it looked like there. So 2nd and 8 coming up here for Maple Grove, and I think they're going to have to use a timeout. Coach realized that it was just getting too late in the play count here. And
the last thing you want to do is when you're having a good drive is have something helter-skelter come out and not be able to run a play or lose 10 or have another turnover.
Well, I think last year proved, Bill, as big as this game feels to these kids and and the communities, it proved that, Osseo ended up with 3 losses in this regular season. Maple Grove ended up with 2, and they still wound up in the Final Four. So, either way, it isn't going to be the end of the world if you lose it tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's, and that's going to have to be the mantra of the losing team is that, hey, yeah, that was a tough loss. We hate to lose that game. But, tomorrow we've got to come back and we've got to be ready to go. There's 9 more we're going to play, so let's get after it.
And I guarantee you the winning team's coach is going to say that was one of 8 regular season games. It doesn't mean more than the rest. Okay, you have bragging rights, but if you follow it up with a dud, it didn't mean much.
Right.
There's Hanscom on the carry there, and he will get down to the 46, so about a 3-yard pickup on that one. Crimson will have a 3rd and 5 coming up. Hanscom unofficially 24 yards and 8 carries, so they've done a pretty solid job on him. It's actually been Davison that's hurt them more as a runner than Hanscom, at least to this point. Couple receivers to each side here as Davison gets his team in position. And here we go, 3rd down. Davison now scrambling back, rolls right, now fires on the run, and no good, incomplete. As trying to come back and meet it was Carlson, and it will be 4th down.
Too bad Carlson had the distance for the 1st down. Davison gets a lot of pressure, does a good job of getting the ball upfield, and Carlson can't quite handle it. Well defended. Neema does a nice job of coming up and staying with Carlson to force that ball to be low and not handled.
Kitterman on to punt. Osseo doesn't think they're really going to punt. They don't send anybody back deep. And he is going to boot the ball away. See if they can pin him deep here. Ooh. And it takes a big bounce. Let's see if they'll get to it. And it is going to be a touchback. Maple Grove might have got possibly greedy there. Well, I don't want to say it was a hard bounce to read.
Right.
I thought he might have been able to get to it a little sooner, but I think he had trouble finding it.
Yeah, the lead guy, the number 1 guy, has to get down and find the football and get in position to make the play. In high school football, if the ball penetrates the plane of the goal line into the end zone, it's a touchback. In the NFL, it's not so. It's the defender can make the ball come back in bounds after it's gone over. It just has to land in the end zone.
Hughes handing it off right side, and pickup of 2 or 3 that time as handling the football for the Orioles was Ikior. Got 4 yards on the carry there, actually. Osseo, I think really tried to keep it under wraps what they were going to be doing offensively, and it worked somewhat early on here. Hughes at quarterback, and now he's under center again, and he's wrapped up right away. Tried to get out of there, but there's just too many people that had their hands on his legs there, and he'll get a couple.
Yeah, against a defense that penetrates as hard and as quick as Maple Grove likes to, those kind of plays are going to be very tough from under center.
So 3rd and about 4 coming up here for the Orioles. Kind of important, I think, for them to maybe, at least get a 1st down or 2 here to kind of
absolutely
get the, momentum back at least somewhat. Hughes was mostly working out of the gun. He bobbled it briefly, now rolling to his right, just looking to tuck it and go, and he's going to be stacked up well shy of the 1st down.
Yeah, he's going to gain about a yard, but again, a bobbled snap. Quarterback who's not experienced, not used to taking that snap like that. He's lucky that his knee was down. It could have been called right there. So now 4th down. So now you've had the ball for 3 plays, and you're punching. You're going to be punching the ball back to a team that just ran 2 first downs. So not the optimal situation for what Osseo would like to do.
Chia on to punt. I'm not sure Osseo has. It looked like they were looking to the sidelines as though they didn't have 11 players out there. We get a flag thrown. And fair catch called for and made by Carlson, but this one they're probably going to make them kick this again.
Yeah, probably didn't have 7 on the line of scrimmage. They didn't have everybody out there. It's not illegal to have 10 guys on the field. It's illegal not to have 7 guys on the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, and Maple Grove, I don't think it's too hard a choice to say that they're going to punt. Or make them punt again.
I would definitely do that. Yeah, you didn't get any kind of a run back. If they'd have run the ball back and got it back to the 20-yard line, then you turn it away. But you want to get a chance to get Carlson. Carlson's a good return man. He catches the ball. You want to see him getting upfield.
Joe Chia standing back inside his 10-yard line now to punt. Gets a low liner away. Carlson couldn't quite get to it. He slaps his hands mad at himself. That wasn't that easy, though. Boy, I tell you, on the run, probably not a bad decision. He's thinking I should have gotten to it, but I I think not a bad idea.
Not a bad. No, you don't want to risk bobbling or muffing the ball, but it's so critical. One of the things that drives coaches absolutely crazy at any level is not catching the football on a punt. Once that thing bounces, it can go 15, 20 yards. They got a 20-yard bounce on that. It was a terrible punt, but they got a 20-yard bounce, and the ball's 5 yards further back than it was the previous time.
From the 40, first down for the Crimson. Davison looking to throw deep down the middle of the field, and he has his receiver, and this one almost was going to go. Rash is dragged down. It looked like he was going to break free entirely, but Tyler Seelock able to wrap him up. But Maple Grove in great field position now inside the 20.
Davison
43-yard gain.
Yeah, nice job of getting the ball in that closing window, as we would say. And he's had some rough shots up the middle of the field, but Teddy Rash does a nice job of grabbing the ball and keeping his momentum going to get a nice gain after the catch.
And I have to admit, I was about ready to call him, an injured player for Osseo might be cramping, it looks like. I was about ready to call him gone there. I have to give Seelock a lot of credit for working his way free, not getting blocked, and closing quick to make that tackle. It looked like they had, kind of escaped the last line there briefly, but Johnson Fowler, let's hope he's all right. And it does, not medical experts up here, but it certainly appeared like a cramp. That's the way they were working on it.
Yep.
I don't know. Bill, you may be
my medical degree got lost in the mail.
Yeah, you may be an expert. I'm not going to claim that. So 1st and 10 here, Maple Grove inside the 20 at the 18-yard line. They look to take the lead. Davison sprinting out, sweep to the right, and he leaps forward down to about the 12 or 13. Give him 5 on that carry. Interesting. Of all the time, in recent years, Bill, we've had so much talk about, new wave offenses, spread offenses and everything. But some of the things you see are very much old-time football. I mean, that's just a quarterback sweep right there.
That's right. That's all it is. You can go back to the days of the wing tee and see the old guy tailbacks, Billy Kilmer, for example, running that exact same play.
Davison running it again. Bounces off a tackler and kept going as he absorbed the hit, but wasn't really wrapped up there by Nick Norman, and it will be a first down for Maple Grove. Down just to the 6-yard line, another 7-yard pickup for Davison, and Maple Grove appearing on the verge of going in. One more halftime score to report too for you. Blaine leading Wayzata 14-7 at halftime of their contest. John Jacobson over there for our 12 Sports crew looking in on that one. So here we go, first down, goal to go from the 6 for the Crimson. Davison rolling to the right. Cutting, but he's stopped at the 5-yard line. Didn't really look like there was a pass option there. That was just a run all the way again.
Sure looked like it.
And he will be stopped at just about the line of scrimmage. So officially no gain. Nice job of
pretty well
wrapping
contained,
up there by Norman.
And Landers,
excuse me.
Landers did a nice job of playing to the outside, and forcing the play back in, and then hanging on to make the initial hit.
2nd and goal. Maple Grove trailed this one 13-0 at one point. They scored the last 10 points of the first half, and now trying to take their first lead of the night. Osseo looking for a big stop. Davison looking to throw the fade to Rash. Did he get the foot down? Not quite. Caught the ball, but was not in bounds. It's incomplete. And Rash pleading his case there, but obviously not going to get him to change their mind right now.
That's a nice grab.
Yeah, he was definitely out. Pretty well executed, but just ran out of field. Yeah, you see he's clearly on the white line. It actually wasn't all that close even. Nice catch, nice effort.
And the receiver, you got to make the catch first. Doesn't make any, if you don't catch the ball, it doesn't make any difference.
So 3rd down, goal to go here for Maple Grove. Davison rolling left, wants to throw, and it is caught by Dugan for the touchdown. Just for a split second, you wondered if he was going to get turned around in time to see it coming, and he did. And Dugan hauls it in. He's had a good night, and he gets the touchdown catch, and the Crimson in the lead for the first time.
Well, it certainly looked like Brad Davison was going to hold that ball until there was no way it was going to be completed. And he kind of threw it on the side of Dugan that Dugan wasn't looking originally. And like you said, it was good to get his eyes around to make that grab. The result is a nice touchdown for Maple Grove.
Peterson on to attempt the extra point, although they're one player short. See if they'll be able to get to it in time to get this extra point kick up. They do get lined up. Peterson boots it up and through. And with 4:36 to go in the third quarter, Maple Grove in the lead for the first time as they now lead at 17-13.
That's a really nice grab by Dugan to make that play and turn it into a touchdown.
Not maybe as easy as it looks. To how many times you see somebody, they don't expect the ball over that shoulder and struggle to find it.
Exactly.
But he did a good job. And you see Hanscom firing up the crowd, their team in the lead for the first time. And, there were a few years back, I kind of had the feeling maybe that this game meant a little more to Osseo than it did to Maple Grove, but I think we're getting to the point now when they've lost this many times in a row to them, it means probably a little more, or as much at least, to the guys in the black and crimson.
Matt might want to downplay it a little bit, but I think the kids, it's a very important game for the kids.
I think part of his success, though, and is the fact that he wants his team to be ready for it to be a big game every week. Not we get sky high for Osseo and then kind of slack off in the next couple of games. However, if you're looking at it from Osseo's side of things, you can say, well, you can say that all you want, but we just beat you every year.
Right.
And so there's no denying that part of it. So. It's been an interesting rivalry with a lot of long streaks. Maple Grove actually, as surprising as this might seem to the current Osseo players, Maple Grove still leads this series by quite a bit, 16-9. But it was just that they racked up a long string of wins, in earlier years there. And then of late, it's been mostly Osseo. Of course, we had the one forfeit that was changed to a Maple Grove win a few years back when Osseo had won the game on the field, but it had to rule to have an ineligible player on their team. So, this before the play can get started, 3 flags flying and a dead ball false start against Osseo. Bill, they came out and granted they were playing with a short field, but they came out and looked pretty good offensively. First, maybe 3 times they had the ball, but since then, not so much.
Yeah, and they've only had, 3 or 4 first downs in the entire game. And granted, on the short field, that's going to happen. But still, in the second now and in the third quarter, they really haven't moved the ball at all.
Here's Hughes carrying it. Ooh, he ran hard into the defender Kitterman there and tried to run right through him. Part of that may be that Maple Grove has settled into what Osseo is going to throw at them, because I think they might have been, I don't know, maybe there's so much information going around. It wouldn't surprise me if Maple Grove did know what Osseo was going to do, even though they tried to keep it under wraps. But they seem to take a little bit of a time to adjust to it.
Well, and the turnovers, that rattles everybody, and particularly early in the game. So that's that's what happens. But
Hughes looking to throw, fires, and it's complete. And spun out of bounds there after making the grab. There is a Cavan.
Julian Cavan makes a nice grab on that ball, turns upfield. But I think that for Marmar Hughes, know, they might be trying to tap into his athletic ability, but as a running back, he's really much better taking a handoff 6-7 yards deep in the backfield and running at full speed. We got a
Maple Grove player down right here is Max Johnson, and
it
could be a cramp
like
again
a
too.
cramp
They're
there,
looking
too.
on that calf. I was going to say at first it might have been
was
more
in
up
knee.
the knee, but
yeah. And as of late, we're quite conscious of knee injuries.
Oh, what a heartbreaker, isn't it?
Oh my goodness. Feel so badly for the player. You know. I'm semi-surprised that we're having 3-4 guys have had cramping issues
we might have
tonight.
spoke too early about, you know, I think, you know, you generally associate that with heat, obviously,
Right.
but certainly there can be other factors that kind of lead to it a little bit as well.
Right, and there's always hydration issues that, you know, and sometimes when it's cooler and you don't feel like you're thirsty all that much, you don't feel like you got to drink that much, but you know, the hydration 24 hours before game time is really important.
Here's a look at the rest of the regular season for Maple Grove. They'll be at Hopkins next Friday and then playing at Edina, so kind of an interesting one as they can't get away from meeting up with Darren Lemker.
No.
Not the head coach, but on the staff at Edina. And then a huge one with Eden Prairie coming up.
Right.
As well, and
that one
then
they have
followed
here.
by Wayzata. So obviously pretty difficult schedules for both of these teams, as you might expect.
Yeah, that district that, well, both these teams are in very, very tough districts. But that district with that Maple Grove is in with Eden Prairie, Edina, Prior Lake, it's like Minnetonka, Hopkins. I mean, it's just, there's nothing easy at any point in the season.
Third down for Osseo. Hughes wanted to throw, now tucks it and goes. Hughes trying to back his way forward. He's not going to get the first down. He needed to get to the 31, and he's going to be stopped at, looks like, right at the 30. And Osseo presumably into a punting situation, although I suppose you could roll the dice. Maple Grove did right near this spot on the field in the first half.
Yeah, and it is about a 1 yard distance, but
yeah,
you got to have some courage.
At least
you got to have some courage to do that.
At least so far, showing as though they may go for it. Remember, they got a pretty big and pretty veteran offensive line, and Hughes obviously is a well put together quarterback as well. Goes long count with it here. Yeah. Did they use the timeout or did they get delay a game here? Looks like they're going to use the timeout.
Yeah.
And here is what Osseo has to come here. They're in the West Metro North, and they've got Andover coming to John Hanson Stadium at Carlton Field. Then they go to Anoka, and a big one with Totino Grace, a team they met in a great game in the semifinals last year. Play over at Champlin Park the 30th. And so maybe not quite as tough. I mean, I think that's not downgrading some of these programs to say maybe not quite as tough a schedule for Osseo overall as Maple Grove, certainly. But they proved last year they came out of that grouping and won a state championship.
Absolutely. You know, and you've got some good programs in that conference. I mean, or in that district, you've got not only Grace, but you've got Centennial and Coon Rapids. Looks like they're coming off of a 0 season last year and playing at least competitively in the first half of their opener.
Interesting here, Osseo, after using the timeout, again comes out in the formation to go for it, and they push their way forward with.
Boy, they got a big.
Maple Grove trying to claim the balls out, but no, Hughes has got it, and he's got the first down with ease. And here's where we talk about all the times about Maple Grove being so in love with these small, quick players.
Right.
I always think, now, does that hurt them when it's just a bowl forward?
Absolutely.
And sometimes maybe, but Osseo was confident they could get it, and they do so. I think part of it, too, for their coaches is we need to get the momentum back a little bit here. We can't afford to just have another 3 and out.
Yeah, we just kind of sputtered around a little bit offensively, and they've got to establish something.
Hughes under pressure, and down he goes, sacked by Jake Hansen. And they will lose about 9 on the play. Hansen did a good job of not getting overly excited and overrunning this play. He just kind of stayed in there and got to him and dragged him down.
He stayed right on the outside shoulder of Marmar Hughes, and Hughes wasn't able to really get anywhere. So now Osseo kind of digging themselves into a hole here with a loss. They got 2nd and very long.
Hughes going with the pitch. Here comes the reverse. Harmon on the move. Bouncing it to the outside, down the sideline. Wow, he has speed. And he is going to be brought down, or go out, I should say, right at midfield. It'll be a first down, a gain of 24 on the reverse.
Coron Harmon does a really nice job of finding the seam after he gets turned upfield. He finds the seam, makes a nice move there, gets upfield, and then he really hits the Jets. Then gets a 20-plus yard gain on 2nd and very long.
They go quick up the middle here. Ikior on the carry will get a couple. That was a really big play for Osseo. Field position-wise, but even more so momentum-wise.
Yes, and especially, it seems that they're kind of settling in with that, with that big offensive line getting a little bit of a push now.
2nd down and 8 here coming for the Orioles. Give some belated credit, too, on that long run to the guys who are blocking downfield that didn't just kind of stop and say maybe the play's over. They kept with it out there. Handoff left side this time, and a solid gainer there. Not quite going to be enough for the first down, but good pickup for Balya.
3rd and 4 for the Orioles.
So 3rd down and 4 yards coming up here for the Orioles as they've got a nice march going. We're in the last half minute here of the 3rd quarter. Trailing now 17-13, but trying to see if they can't finish off this march. Hughes going to take it straight up the middle, and he looks like he should have enough for the first down. He just needed to get to the 40, and he will pop it forward for what appears to be a first down. Let's go to Allie for an injury update.
Yeah, guys, we saw defensive lineman for Maple Grove, Max Johnson, get helped off the field after a play. The trainers have been looking at his right knee. They are icing it up. His return does not look probable for this game.
Thanks, Allie, and unfortunate news for Maple Grove and for Max Johnson. And again, they're without Joe Raymond, who broke his leg in their scrimmage. We have now reached the end of the 3rd quarter. Osseo on the move, but trailing it as Maple Grove takes the lead. Our score after 3, Crimson 17, Orioles 13. 4th quarter's up next.
Most of my family, they never graduated high school or even let alone go to college, so I'm trying to break that barrier. Every day after work, went straight to school, studied hard, and it paid off. I could not have done it alone. I see the future is really bright for me. The high school diploma is just added to the confidence, and now I feel unstoppable.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
I was wondering what I was seeing in the booth next to us. I'm looking and there's these lights flashing, and I got the disco ball going in the Maple Grove coaches box. I could see it reflecting off the wall near us, and kind of cool. It adds to the atmosphere here tonight at Maple Grove, and been a really good football game. We expected a close one, although you come into this year and you're saying, okay, we had 2 teams that were really good last year, but just an awful lot of new players in the lineup for both teams. How would they shape out? Who's going to step up? And we've seen a great one.
Yes, and it's really interesting to watch the ebb and flow. We were commenting that with the new quarterback, Marmar Hughes, that Osseo kind of stumbled a little bit in the 2nd and 3rd quarters. At the end of the 3rd quarter, they started to find themselves again. And now they're a little bit on the move, and we'll see if they can continue to push here.
Hughes floating it out, and the pass complete. Harmon showing a great burst of speed down to about the 33-yard line. I'm sorry, not Harmon, but Valia again, or was it Harmon?
It was Harmon.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're really taking advantage of some of the quickness that Maple Grove has by getting the ball quickly on the pass and not trying to have Marmar Hughes throw the ball upfield, but to be able to throw the ball short, accurate, and let the guys catch it and run.
Fakes the handoff. Hughes getting to the outside and has some green to go. Marmar Hughes down the sideline will be marked out of bounds at the 14, so a gain of 20 on the play. And Maple Grove getting outflanked to that left side that time.
Boy, they certainly did. And we can see the kind of running back that Marmar Hughes is and can be. And that's really the first time tonight that he's really gotten loose. But now they've put themselves into a really good scoring position. They've had a really nice play calling sequence here. They've used the short pass. They got a really nice long run from that reverse.
Yeah, I was going to say that reverse sure looks like a genius call right now.
Yeah,
Didn't it? Because it just turned the field and the momentum. First down, handoff here. Oh, and a hard hit. Good
that was
pop delivered there from Maple Grove by Adam Skogman as he lowered the boom there. And Harmon, you see him looking to the side, and he didn't see that one coming, and it got him good. A short loss on the play. Getting late enough in the game that these could be the winning stop or the winning drive possibly. Hughes looking out into the flat and incomplete. It was a dangerous one as jumping into undercut. It was Engelken there, but he didn't get to the football, and then it was almost caught it behind him. See, he read this play very well.
Does.
I don't know if he got a piece of it or not. But
that would have been a great catch. It's tough to have your vision interrupted by somebody breaking in front of you with the ball coming at you, but that was almost a great catch by the receiver. And now you've got 3rd and 11 deep in the zone.
Harmon forced out wide and is knocked down after a loss of a couple more. He was forced backward. The original penetration didn't bring him down, but it made him really turn this into a wide run.
Right. And what happens is that when the defense sees a guy wanting to go wide like that, they're going to bump up and force him wider.
Lum is going to come on to try a field goal. This would be a 35-yard attempt for the Orioles. I'm going to say this brings up the missed extra point earlier because kicking for the tie would have been probably a relatively easy choice. But then when they lost yards on that last one, I think they're saying there's still enough time in this game. Let's get
we're going to get at least one more possession.
Seelock is the holder. And Lum comes up, and it is blocked. No good as the Crimson get a piece of it. Didn't come out real high. And Maple Grove will hold after a nice march by Osseo, and the Crimson still hold the lead. See if we can get a look at who gets a piece of this one cutting through here.
Right there.
Can't quite see the number, but a nice bit of getting a little penetration, just squeezing through a seam.
Well, that's all it takes. So now Maple Grove is saying, hey, our defense held, our offense has done okay. Let's go ahead and let's have a 6-minute, 8-minute drive and seal this thing up.
Davison fakes the handoff, going to throw it here on first down. He finds Dugan. Dugan spun out of bounds, but a nice start to the drive as Naima makes the stop there for Osseo, but he'll get, it looks like 9 is what they're going to mark him with.
And Naima's still on the
injured.
sideline. Yeah, it's Naima on the sideline, number 2, the linebacker.
There's our Friday contest, the Lions of Providence Academy and the Mustangs from Breck getting set to battle it out in their season opener. And Twin City District football, I apologize for earlier. Habits die hard here. I want to call it an IMAC conference game. Here's another look. It's the tackler, Naima, who ends up injured.
Looks like he gets his... He's got an ankle or something that caught under his body a little bit.
Did a nice job chasing Dugan down here and stopped him from getting the first down, but I don't know, that right foot was planted a little bit and it might have twisted the foot or ankle possibly there, but let's hope he'll be all right.
He'll bounce back out, yeah.
Big start to the drive, though, for Maple Grove. They did not go conservative. They throw on first down, although a relatively safe pass play. They get 9 yards out of it.
And certainly Jack Dugan has proved to be a really good receiver tonight.
Davison will pick up the first down as he runs it over the right side. Nice weapon to have when you have a quarterback that can be not just a decent runner, but somebody who can be a real weapon as a runner.
Absolutely. And, that can get 2 or 3 yards in a tough situation. What this does, these kinds of plays give Maple Grove pretty good control of the clock.
Davison sprint out to the left. Gonna tuck it and go. Able to sneak past the potential tackler there as Osseo looked like they had it defended and then weren't able to get off a block. And he's gonna pick up about 15 more.
They can see Davison wanted to throw it early, but as he turns upfield, there's a nice block right there. And they were pretty well surrounding him, but he just plugged ahead. Actually got a 15-yard gain out of that. He's probably over 100 yards now, right?
Yeah, not quite to that level, but up over 80 at least. And
certainly
Osseo, to be honest, that kind of looked like a tired defense a little bit there. They didn't pursue that well. There's Hanscom, and I think he lost the ball. He did. Let's see a big fight for it here. Boy, this is a big one. I'm not seeing any Osseo guys signaling that they have it, so leads you to believe that Maple Grove got it back. Yeah, it is going to be Crimson football. Hanscom on the recovery. So he will get 4 yards out of that, and more importantly, of course, getting the football back.
Absolutely.
Right here, he ran into his own man.
Right out,
like.
yeah.
And
very
somehow he wound up with it.
Grove. There were certainly enough Osseo guys there to.
Second down and 6 here for the Crimson. Leading at 17-13 and trying to get a drive going to eat up some time and maybe score again. Here's Davison. Wanted to stay in bounds. He didn't quite get that done. He will pick up pretty decent yardage into Osseo territory at around the 46-yard line. So give him about 5 on that carry. You see right there, he stopped to try and stay in bounds. And as smart as that is clockwise, I was worried that when he stopped and planted those ankles, maybe you just want to continue out. He's being a competitor there and a smart play time-wise, and as it turns out, they ruled him out of bounds anyway. 3rd and 3 here for Maple Grove. Davison will run it left, and he has the first down and more. Davison into the secondary, weaving his way back to the right. He has a chance to go. He gets a crushing block, and he is in for the touchdown. 43-yard scamper for Brad Davison, and Maple Grove stretches the lead.
And he ran about 150 yards to make that happen as he came all the way to from the middle of the field to the left side. And as he finds his way right here, he works his way back across the field.
And
he goes
I don't know if you'll see it, but he got a knockdown block. I think it was Rash who came up.
I believe it was Teddy Rash made
somebody.
a really nice downfield block. And boy, that really helps you out.
Peterson on, and his extra point is blocked. And guess who? Naima, who was just down injured a little bit ago, got through to block that one. So
well, that's I realize there's only 8 minutes left here in the game, but that's a big loss of an extra point. But watch as Davison turns up here. We'll see Rash going off the picture again. But Rash took about 2 guys out with him on that block.
So Davison showing not only a physical tough runner who can get the couple yards, but a little bit of speed there too, and obviously shiftiness, cutting it back across the field. And there's a look at Naima doing a nice job getting to that one from the outside. And you're right. I mean, you might have at least given your team a chance to stay in it by blocking that extra point. But 10-point deficit here for Osseo. They had a nice drive going last time.
Right.
And ended up with a missed or blocked field goal at the end of it. So they kind of maybe got their mojo back a little bit, but still down by 10. See if we can see this block downfield. It comes pretty late in the play. And watch right here, boom. Knocked him down and
took 2 guys
ended up taking 2 guys.
Well, Osseo starting off with a 13-0 lead, and now it's given up 23 unanswered points. That's hard to deal with.
Harmon juggled it and then ends up running it out to just about the 20-yard line. So Osseo not panic time yet, but they don't have that much margin for error anymore. Down by 10 with also just under 8 minutes to go. So you have to be steadily moving forward here and make positive gains if you're going to have an opportunity to come back in this one.
Right, and looking at the clock, with just under 8 minutes to go, you're hoping you can get 2 possessions. You're going to need 2 possessions, and yet you've got to get the ball 80 yards upfield to make this thing happen.
Hughes now going to tuck it as he rolls to the left, pursued and dropped. He stopped there by Paschke catching up to him there. Hughes initially wanted to throw that football, and then now we've got another player cramping up, it looks like, this one for Maple Grove.
Paschke does a nice job of playing the right angle. Obviously a geometry student, and making a really good tackle, making sure that Hughes can't turn and run upfield and can't throw the ball. Another cramp, Adam Skogman, number 11, linebacker.
Big loss on that play will leave them with a 2nd and 16. That one's hurt the flow of the game a little bit with some of the injuries we had here in the second half, but thankfully most of them have been cramps, it looks like.
Yeah.
So see as he's kind of falling down there in pursuit, but nice job by Paschke to get out there. And he was, like Davison, a very strong guy, not super fast in either case.
Right.
I mean, good enough speed, obviously, but 2nd and 16, not the way the Orioles wanted to start this, all-important drive for them. Hughes rolling to the right, wants to throw deep downfield, lofts it way up in the air. Jump ball, and Harmon comes down with it at the 48. Wow, they're going to give it a shot and see what happens, and Harmon goes up and gets it in traffic, 34-yard gain.
If Fondakowski made as good a play on the ball as you could without intercepting it.
This kind of
even gets a little bit of a bump on Harmon there, and Harmon just played the ball.
I said the feel of a end of half or end of game Hail Mary, really, but sometimes that works out for you. A lot of times people say it's risky or whatever, and it kind of is, but at this point they're down 10.
You're down 10. You've got to get 2 scores. You have to get 2 scores to get back into the game for a tie or a win. Yeah, what the heck? What do you get? It's a higher risk, but certainly a higher reward.
We had a timeout? No. Delay of game against Osseo. So they'll be pushed back 5 after that big gainer, back to the 43, 1st and 15 now coming up for the Orioles. And I think the Osseo bench may be feeling that the ball was chopped back into play a little quicker than.
Quick there, from my point of view, certainly.
Go with the toss. Here comes that reverse again, and nothing doing. Harmon spun down by Engelken for a huge loss. They are going to lose back all the way about 8 or 9 yards here. 8-yard loss.
Yeah, the first time they ran that reverse, the player playing Engelken's position, I don't know if it was him or not the first time, was a little bit out of position and actually got blocked. This time, he gets the perfect angle and is right depth in the backfield to make the play. Now you're forced into a very, very tough 2nd and 23 or 24, 23 at least.
Hughes rolls to the left, throws on the run and incomplete. So 3rd and long for Osseo. After that huge completion, you thought maybe things had swung to get this drive going, but now facing a difficult situation, 3rd down and 23. The time is at a spot where you just really hate to punt the ball away.
Oh,
too.
yeah, absolutely. 5.5 minutes to go in the game and 5:50 to go in the game, and you're giving up the ball, and you're going to give up field position, and and even if Maple Grove doesn't score, they're going to control 2 or 3 minutes off the clock. It's going to just end up being you're going to run out of time.
Hughes fires and through Harmon's fingers and incomplete. Nearly a catch on the second try there.
By Kevin, yeah.
So now 4th and very long. What do you do here if you're Osseo, Bill?
Well, I think you have to punt. If it was shorter distance, but you can't afford to give up field position like this. And of course, now the worst thing that could happen would be a blocked punt, but
Haugen and Kitterman waiting back deep as kind of a safety position here. Chia on to punt. And they are indeed going to kick it away. High kick. Maple Grove doesn't want any part of this. They're going to let it bounce. And it will roll down to about the 28-yard line. So 37-yard punt, but Maple Grove wasn't too concerned with that part of it.
No.
They're going to get the ball back. 5:33 to go and still in decent field position as they try and salt this one away. The fact that it's 10 instead of a 7-point lead is pretty big here too in terms of the strategy both ways.
Absolutely, because now if Maple Grove gets 2 first downs, they're going to pretty much run the clock pretty well down. They're going to leave. Even if they don't score, they're going to leave Osseo with not much time. So the pressure on the Osseo defense is to not give up a first down at all.
Davison play action, going to throw deep here on 1st down for Rash and just out of his fingertips. Had a step there as he got a little bit behind Blumhoff as Maple Grove, if you had any questions about whether they were going to be conservative,
Yeah,
that
right
answered
there.
that.
Well, and you got to figure too that a play action pass, hold the linebackers. You got a chance at a big play that you can really do something with, and it takes a little bit of pressure off of your offense because you're not trying to grind the ball down against the 9 or 10 man front.
Was not far from clicking right there either.
No, that was right off of the fingertips of Teddy Rash.
So 2nd down and 10 here for Maple Grove. Oh, when the snap comes past Davison, he wasn't ready. And looks like a flag is down.
Well, you had a
they are fortunate that there was a penalty.
You had a slot back move up. Are they going to call that a dead ball foul? If they call that a dead ball foul, it's going to be a huge break. Yes, it's a huge break for Maple Grove.
You see Davison
I'm not sure that
wasn't looking,
well,
but we had a penalty called.
I'm not sure how that was a dead ball violation, but
they ended up recovering anyway, but they would have had a huge loss.
Well, that's a huge break for Maple Grove. It cost them 5 yards. It could have cost them 20.
Davison, sweep to the left. Wants to stay in bounds, and look at him finish that run, trying to run over Naima. And those two get up and mix it up a little bit. I don't want to jump the gun by saying this, but it's been a clean game, considering how big of rivals these are.
Yeah, I haven't seen any chippiness by either side, which is good. I'm not sure trash talking and stuff like that gains you much.
Third and a yard, and Davison will keep it and easily pick up the first down as he gains 6 more. And we said coming into the night, I thought he'd be more of a runner this year, and boy, has that ever proven to be true.
Absolutely. Yeah, he's really kind of done more in the second half than he certainly did in the first half. But that just goes to show that the pressure that the offensive line puts on the defense, that the fact that you got a couple of guys that don't wear down very much.
Well, Totino Grace has done it, beating Eden Prairie here to start the season.
2 in a row.
Yeah, got him good in the playoffs last year and beat him here tonight. Here's the handoff to Hanscom. Cuts it back. Obviously, Osseo going to take opportunities to try for the football if they can. Hanscom will get about 6.
Right. But we're now inside of 4 minutes. And now we're getting to the point in the game where 2 possessions are going to be pretty much out of the question for Osseo. And then the challenge is try to figure out how to get a 10-point score.
Blaine leading Wayzata 21-14 in the 4th quarter. In that one here.
Wow.
Maple
That's
Grove.
kind of a surprise.
Maple Grove trying to seal up a win. It'd be their first on-field win over Osseo since 2009. They did have, again, that forfeit that ultimately became a win for them. Davison rolling out to the right, and this time pretty well defended. He's able to fall forward to about the 50. And I think we're going to have a timeout taken right away as Nick Norman catching up to him there, and no gain.
Yeah, Osseo's going to use up their second timeout. They don't really have much choice at this point. They have to stop the clock. They got to try to get the ball back. If they hold on 3rd down, they'll probably take their last timeout then and hope they can get the ball back on a punt. But now you're in a position where even if you get the ball back, you have to be able to do something that you can't do very well right now at this part of the season. And that's throw the ball upfield for big gains in a quick amount of time.
Maple Grove's, showing a willingness to throw the ball around a little bit in spots where you wouldn't expect it here. But I'd be pretty surprised if they don't, keep the ball on the ground here in this spot.
Absolutely. I would think even if it's a 4th down and short, they might go for it there too, just to use up another 25 seconds of clock time.
Well, absolutely, and obviously they had the early problem with the punt snap and everything too, so. And we have a flag down here and march them back 5.
Somebody moved.
Third and 9 coming up here for Maple Grove after the. That's the one thing that we've had. Obviously, we had turnovers early, but penalties have mounted up a little bit here, and those are some, kind of first game things that you want to clean up a little bit. They hurry to the line, and now we're going to have a timeout taken by Maple Grove.
Right.
They're wanting to confuse Osseo, but I think at times you maybe get a little, you might outsmart yourself a little bit.
You overthink it a little bit.
Yeah.
Yep. I think you're exactly right, Jay. That certainly can happen.
Davison rolling to the left, and he is going to throw. Well, not quite what I was expecting there, but Eric Christensen hauling it in. He got a relatively safe route out to the right and able to get the completion and the first down. That was huge, and he stays in bounds, too.
Yeah.
Well, Christensen getting his second catch of the night, and time ticking down on Osseo right now. Only one timeout to go. Davison handing off to Hanscom, breaks the tackle, and then ridden down as he is a little short of the first down, but definitely a nice gainer to start that next sequence of plays here.
And you get 6, 7, 8 yards on first down running the football. You're tiring the defense out. You're putting them more and more pressure on them, and now you've got a chance of getting another first down. It's just gonna keep piling up.
Brad Davison came kind of skipping back into the huddle after he went over and gave Coach Lombardi a little hug there. I think they feel like this is their game right now.
Yeah, they've got it in hand right now with a minute and a half to go.
Second and a couple. Handoff back to Hanscom. You will get the first down. And inside the 30-yard line, and Maple Grove storming back here after falling behind 13-0 in a pretty mistake-plagued first half for them.
Exactly.
Davison trying to use as much clock as he can. He is going to go to the kneel down, so we'll tick under a minute to play after that snap here. Osseo does have one timeout, but not probably going to use it here. And their Maple Grove guys are pretty jacked up, as we said. And none of these guys have beat Osseo in varsity football. And Coach Lombardi had not defeated Osseo, but they are going to do so here this evening. Another score for you tonight here at Minnetonka, defeating Champlain Park 28-14 in the season opener for both clubs. As we're under a half minute, looks like it should be just one more snap required here for Maple Grove. Davison will take a knee, and we will tick down towards zeros here as Maple Grove will break the streak against Osseo.
Break the streak at 7, right?
And win this, make this one 23-13. It's always hard to know to throw in that forfeit or not, though. But in terms of on-field win.
On-field, yeah.
I mean, it counts as a win, definitely. But this time they're able to do it on the field and get the victory here tonight by a score of 23-13. So a great football game here from Crimson Stadium. We'll be back to give you some more coverage of tonight's contest here, the West Metro football. Maple Grove 23 and Osseo 13.
Most of my family, they never graduated high school or even let alone go to college, so I'm trying to break that barrier. Every day after work, went straight to school, studied hard, and it paid off. I could not have done it alone. I see the future is really bright for me. The high school diploma is just added to the confidence, and now I feel unstoppable.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
They said a bottle was just a bottle. That no one would ever notice me. But I knew I could be more. That one day, I would make people smile.
The color in my garden keeps the pink in my cheeks. I was very independent and thought I could take care of myself. I fell and I had to have Meals on Wheels. They're my savior. My name is Lola Silvestri. America, let's do lunch.
Drop off a hot meal and say hello. Volunteer by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
I adopted Bento in 2010 from a shelter. As it turns out, we have very similar personalities. And this cat makes me make art because he's always motivating me to take pictures of him, to draw pictures of him. He just is motivating artistically. It's just that simple. Well, he's my best friend, but a lot of people know him as Keyboard Cat.
Crimson football players after they defeat their arch rivals from Osseo 23-13. And well, you go through all the summer workouts, you go through the fall workouts, and you're just excited to finally get out here. I mean, you've had this one circled on your calendar for a very long time, and to come out and to get the victory on your home field is pretty darn exciting, certainly for Maple Grove. Well, certainly, Bill, an exciting way to start the season tonight for both of these teams. Obviously, Osseo disappointed with the outcome, but there were definitely some things to like in their performance. But Maple Grove showing some poise to not panic. I mean, as Coach told us at halftime, that the first half went almost about as bad as it could.
He said we thought we were going for a state record in turnovers. So, he makes a little bit of light of it, but But by the same token, he knows how serious it is to play well, but he also knows how well they can play. So, but I think from Osseo's point of view, they've got to be encouraged about a number of things. You know, they're not playing their starting quarterback. They're playing their tailback as a running quarterback. I thought Hughes did a really good job tonight. He played with some poise. It didn't look like anybody on Osseo's team was down about anything. Obviously, they're sad that they lose, but they've got a lot to build on.
For the Maple Grove guys, a steady performance in that, maybe from about the midway through the second quarter on, too. I mean, not everything was going smooth, but they didn't, it didn't really put them in a mood where they're pointing fingers at each other and whatnot when they had that bad start, it seemed like. And that's a testament, obviously, to Coach and his staff, too, that, you come in at halftime and instead of getting, blistered, getting chewed out, he kind of told them, we're a little too serious here. This is not the time to panic, that you need to stick with it and do what we teach you and what we did later in that second quarter.
And we're faced with it. And as he pointed out, we're faced with a challenge. We've got to climb that mountain. We've got to do what we need to do to not only get back in this thing, but to win it. And I think that's where the head coach's attitude can be very, very good. If he's all panicky, the kids are going to get panicky. Nobody takes anything more serious than Matt does, but by the same token, he also loves every aspect of the game.
Obviously, a nice way to come into school, for the kids coming into school starting Tuesday, too, for the Maple Grove fans. You see, obviously, all of them have gathered around with the team to be a part of this speech and everything. It can be a good boost for them coming into school. And obviously, Osseo's had the upper hand lately, and they've been the ones who've been able to be all pumped up and celebrating it and everything, too. But it goes the other way this time around, which, a good rivalry, it has to go back and forth a little bit to be a good rivalry, too.
Certainly.
Well, we talked about how these teams, have some good games coming up, too, and you have to be ready to turn the page, like after a tough loss and after a super thrilling win, too.
Yeah, absolutely. You've got to be able to say, okay, hey, tomorrow we can enjoy this. Tomorrow we can enjoy this. But you know what? We got to get back to work. We've got another game that's as important, if not more so, 7 days from now. And 7 days from that, we've got to do another one. It's getting the guys into the mental approach of releasing after the game and being able to appreciate what's happened, but then being able to come back and be ready to go to work and focus right away.
Coach Lombardi giving his talk with his guys, and obviously, too, you don't want to knock them down or bring them down, but there were enough mistakes that they'll be seeing on film that, you have to take that part of it in and learn from that part of it, too.
Exactly. And you don't want to take away from a positive thing like winning a big rivalry game, but you also want to point out that this was far from perfect, and at some point in the season we're going to have to be a lot closer to perfect than we were tonight.
And for Osseo, with a new head coach and with a partially new staff, good to get this one out of the way, I think. Yeah. And like we said, some good things to look at for them, especially the way things started out.
Absolutely.
Good night of football here, and obviously these teams will head into this Labor Day weekend and everything too. A nice nice opportunity to have a great weekend.
Absolutely. It's hard for me to come to grips with the fact that we're already Labor Day and football started, but once it starts, I get into the rhythm of it. I'm looking forward to the entire season now.
Well, looks like Allie's got someone down on the sideline. Let's go down to the field with Allie.
Yeah, guys, I have Brad Davison here finally with us, kind of the star of the night. You know, this game started out with 4 turnovers on your first 4 possessions. Were there some pregame or season jitters there that were happening, or what was going on?
I think so. I think everyone's a little new to the bright lights, but I take that on myself. I take that as my responsibility. That was my bad the first half. I wasn't the player I should have been, but my teammates and everyone really picked up the second half. We came with the victory. We'll take it.
Osseo scores 13 points unanswered, and then you guys answer with 23 unanswered. What changed there offensively for you guys?
I think we just calmed down and we had a different mindset. We just played more confident, and we really believed in ourselves. That was the biggest thing. We came out to start, and we were slow, and we just weren't really into the game, I don't think. I take responsibility for that, but we really picked it up. I'm really proud of my teammates, what we did tonight.
Brad, you come into your senior season. You take on your crosstown rivals who happen to be the defending state champs. What did you learn from your team in this victory tonight?
We have a lot of toughness. I think after starting down 13-0 with a sold-out crowd, that's tough to do and to bounce back. So I'm really happy that we're really proud of my teammates and how we did that. And it just shows that we went on a 23-0 run, and that's pretty impressive. So we just played with that intensity the rest of the season. It's going to be another fun season for us.
Good luck on the rest of the season, Brad. It was fun watching you today.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
All right, back to you guys.
Thanks, Allie, and thanks, Brad Davison. It's a win for Maple Grove here tonight. 23-13, our final score. We hope you've enjoyed all of tonight's telecast and enjoy all season long of football here on 12 Sports. For Bill Hunstock and all of our crew, I'm Jay Wilcox. Once again, your final is Maple Grove 23, Osseo 13.